Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys. If you are tuning in right now or have tuned in at any point in time, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on whatever we're on. We're on all the platforms, so please do that. Go to our YouTube, follow our YouTube channel. Also, please go check out our link tree. It is linktr.ee / Fringe Fanatics.
There we go.
And it's underscore, so it's Fringe_Fanatics. Well, I got this. It's not that big a deal.
Yep.
Go there, please. We have a link that you can go to donate. It also will take you to just anywhere you can listen to us or, watch us, and also all of our social media as well. So as you can tell behind us, we have something new. We're looking a little fancier. We got rid of the Chiefs flag. Even Andrew reached out to me. He's like, I feel like the Chiefs flag's a little much.
Why? Why did he say that?
He's like, I don't even care about sports, but he's like, it just makes it seem like it's a Chiefs-centric sports podcast.
Yeah, I was a little afraid of that too.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I was just tired.
Moved.
Tired of looking at it.
Yeah, I bet so.
While editing the whole time, just fucking Chiefs flag.
You got to look at the fact that we own the AFC.
Yeah, I know. I already got to deal with that. I don't need to look at it while I edit this show.
Sean
constantly.
Payton's not going to help you.
He's going to, dude. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Say that every year.
But yeah, how was your week so far?
It was really good. We had a nice chill weekend since, as I told you, that was the last weekend before Super Bowl weekend, so we wanted to just keep it pretty low key. Watched a few horror movies. I went and got my oil change. So
You did what?
I went and got my oil changed.
Oh, cool, nice. Yeah.
But yeah,
I quit doing that because the last time I took our car to Grease Monkey, we were talking about this before the show started, but we were talking about how our time's valuable and doing stuff on your car sucks. And I was like, well, I took the car to Grease Monkey and they screwed it up.
Oh, did they?
Left some stuff not done, and they didn't hook the air filter back up.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to Grease Monkey.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to do it myself again.
Yeah, that's probably the smart choice, but
it saves you it depends, $30-$40 sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad though.
That's could nice.
Yeah, what about you? What'd you do?
We also laid pretty low. My sister, like I said last week, was in town, so Thursday night we went and hung out with her and my brothers. We had a little pizza party. And then Sunday, we actually, before she left, went and met up at Santiago's in Brighton, kind of in between me and my parents' house.
Yeah.
And had some Santiago's, and then she took off.
Nice. That's cool.
Me and Meryl just kind of laid low. Didn't do too much. That's about it, yeah.
Oh,
Practice
cool.
Last night. Back to the regular rigmarole,
All right. Just gets right back into it.
Yeah, now that we don't have a show for a while, we're just going to kind of hunker down and write some more songs and get ready to go record again.
Keep honing the craft, huh?
Keep trying to write something that'll get us anything,
Yeah, it'll happen.
If anything, we'll just keep putting our songs on this show because this show's going to blow up, God damn it.
I got faith, man.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's coming.
Damn
we got talked about by Monkey Shoulder.
We did.
We mentioned them after the fact. Yeah, you can see that right now. You can see it perfectly. Monkey Shoulder right there.
So I just randomly got this at King Supers, a week and a half or so ago, and we tagged them in the post, and they replied and gave us an answer why they're called Monkey Shoulder.
Do you want to read that off for him, Chad?
You go ahead, man.
Oh shit, I don't have it out.
It's
basically it has to go back to the malt guys that would I forget what it is. They do something with the malt. This doesn't sound very professional.
Okay, I'll take it. So the malt whiskey guys would stir the barrel by hand.
Yeah.
And because of that, they would develop what they would call monkey shoulder, where kind of like a monkey. They have a hanging shoulder. And it was nice of them to get back to us and explain that. And it goes to show they're checking out their tags. So,
they're listening. So we're gonna keep drinking on this bottle. Like we said, it is pretty damn good.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
On that note, we should toast to Monkey Shoulder.
That's what I'm saying.
On that. So
send us some of your whiskey, Monkey Shoulder.
Please. We're thirsty.
Yeah. We'll keep talking about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about anything if anybody wants us to. Just send us stuff.
Hey, this is a big show, too. We got coming up for you guys to give you a little preview. It's a big show. It's a Super Bowl preview show.
Oh, it's a Super Bowl preview show.
And we got a big UFC pay-per-view to break down. So
the Kelsey Bowl.
We got maybe LeBron James, getting that record tonight. So
36 points seems pretty doable.
He's at home, so I know he wants to do it. So,
well, here's to a good week of sports.
Yeah, indeed.
Here's to episode 23 of Fringe Fanatics. We're cruising, man.
To Fringe Fanatics.
Woo!
Woo! That's good stuff.
Smooth.
I like it. You could taste the handmade elbow grease that went into it.
Yeah. I can taste the workman's comp from the injury.
I got monkey shoulder. I need
boss.
Come on.
I can't work anymore. I got the
workman's comp. All right, so we got a few topics in NFL to kind of get to.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of hit a couple NFL news stories. The Pro Bowl happened.
Oh, did it? I didn't even catch it.
Don't lie. We both probably watched about the same amount, not very much.
I really think it was about 3 minutes. So I went down to my basement, our little home gym down there, and I got to working out, and I was like, okay, it was like 1:30, so it had been on for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me turn it on, see if it catches my attention. I'll keep this on because there's a few old fights. It's kind of cool if you have ESPN Plus. The upcoming UFC,
they do all their old fights.
They'll put some of the fights that the guys are going to be fighting on, so that you don't have to go through and search for them and everything. But I was wanting to go back through and watch those, and I was like, all right, let me check out this Pro Bowl. I'd say less than 3 minutes. I just couldn't. It was just so weird.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the actual Pro Bowl. But when we did watch some of it, I was over at my parents' house while it was on. We watched a little bit of it. That was actually when the pizza party was on set. No, it wasn't.
Where'd you guys get pizza from?
Blackjack. That's my parents' favorite place.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Oh,
I don't mind Blackjack.
I hear people say that too.
It's not my most favorite.
Yeah, sorry for you guys that are in Colorado don't know, but for you guys that do, they have, I don't know if they still do, but when I was in college, when we were in college, they had the contract to DPS, and that was also the colleges. So that's what they served all the time. And anytime like our class got pizza or something, and it tastes like cardboard, man. It sucks.
It's gotten better. It was like that with Domino's. Do you remember when Domino's like rebranded all of a sudden, and then they had like crust toppings?
Yeah, someone actually came to and was like, "Okay, you guys need to do this better."
Yeah, and then they had like sandwiches and shit. It got real weird. Pastas.
Yeah, it's like, but your parents live so far up north, they've got to get like
there's like everything right there.
There's not really.
They just love Blackjack. So there's like a Marco's right there. There's a Pizza Hut that delivers. There's like literally every pizza place, like chain wise, delivers to them. But they just like Blackjack.
That's nuts.
They really like the salad. That's the main reason.
Oh, really?
Salad, and my dad loves the pan pizzas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his jam.
So let me ask you then. We got like when it comes to like inside Denver, a lot of like the small shops and stuff. We used to go to Benny Blanco's a lot when we worked at Tokyo Joe's.
Yeah.
Give me your top favorite pizza spot here in Denver.
Oh, it would have been Famous back in the day.
Famous Pizza, and it got closed down.
Yeah, it turned into a fucking voodoo donut.
Yep.
Bastards.
Fucking lame. That was good pizza. Anytime I was ever around like Buffalo Exchange or something, I had to go get a slice from there.
Yeah, no, for reals. I love that shit. But Benny Blanco's was really good.
Cosmos is probably up there for me.
Pie Hole, too. Pie Hole's down on Broadway. They're open like super late. They're like right across the street from the High Dive and like right next kind of door to Three Kings and a couple other venues and bars and shit. Yeah. Pretty good.
That was not bad. Benny Blanco's, man, that place was just nuts. It just, I'd go in there. We'd have a break at Tokyo Joe's around like 3 o'clock or something like that. And I'd go in there and get a slice. And it's not a restaurant. It's definitely, they thrive on delivery. It's just like a tiny little closet space that you order your pizza through, and you look in the back, and all the guys are drinking Tall Boys and PBR, and you're like, yeah, this is the right spot.
Yeah, Benny Blanco's is old school. They don't mess around. But anyways, back to the Pro Bowl. We went on a big old.
I had to ask, man. Pizza's a good topic.
Pizza's always good.
Yeah, I love
sidetracked again, as per the usual. But we watched some of the skills stuff. And there was like literally like dudes throwing water balloons back and forth. There was catching punts. Like you had to catch one punt, and then like you came back and you had to hold a ball and catch a punt, and then you had to come back and you had to hold 2 balls and catch a punt. And it got up to like 4 or 5. And it's like linemen and stuff are doing this, and I'm just like, this is so stupid.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys had this in school, but it's like when it comes to the last day of school, and you have like a
field
fun day.
Field days.
We called it fun day, which is super cheesy. But yeah, it's like you get to do all those stupid games. Yeah, that's what that's like. But these are NFL players.
Three-legged race.
So glad the Chiefs made the Super Bowl to where I didn't have to watch them do those stupid things. Like that's an embarrassment.
Yeah, it is stupid. But and then like just with like all the, I mean. Josh Allen basically was like, I got a shoulder injury, and then he's out there playing in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Or it was an elbow injury.
Yeah.
He's out there playing in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Aaron Rodgers, too.
Well, Joe Burrow was, too. Yeah. He was like, I'm good. He didn't even really have an injury. He just basically said, I can't. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to do it.
Joe Cool, he doesn't need to do that.
So, yeah, it was pretty dumb. Did you see how pissed Peyton got at the end of
I
think it was like the third flag football game?
That's a penalty.
He's like, you can't run it. It's within the 5. And you're just like, dude, you take stuff way too seriously.
It was awesome. I loved it, though, man. Like,
you get why that guy just, like, pissed winning all day long. Like,
that's it.
Just was, like, all about it.
I think it had to do, too, with his brother being on the other side of the field.
Oh, he didn't like losing to
Eli. His brother.
Yeah.
You sent me that reel, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was when Eli just fucking cracking jokes back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude, I think he's got like a natural sense of humor for sure. But yeah, I didn't really give a shit about the Pro Bowl. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good enough.
I did want to ask you about the press conference of Sean Payton, man.
I thought it was great, man.
Yeah.
I was like, it feels like we have like a Shanahan, like an actual coach for once.
That's what you needed.
7 years.
A hard-nosed, disciplined guy that's going to make his team come through and be like, I don't care if you have 12 bathrooms or not. Yeah.
Well, and one of the guys from the fan was the one that asked that question of like, well, what do you think about Russell Wilson and like all of his personal coaches being on the field and stuff? He's like, I'm not aware of that. He's like, I'm not familiar with that, and that's definitely not going to be happening now. And I think that's what needed to happen. I think Russell Wilson just came in and saw Nathaniel Hackett and was like, I'm not listening to you, man. Yeah. And he really respects Sean Payton, and he saw what he did with Drew Brees, and I think this was the best hire for the Broncos to fix Russell Wilson and try and get back some of that investment, which I believe I said last week too. But it's just, I think it's a good thing. It was cool also to hear him say, like, just talk about, like, how in-depth he is from, like, going all, like, he told a story about in New Orleans where one was, like, about the players' towels in the locker room were too small, so he went and got him new towels, but then it went as far as, like, during the playoffs, he went to Mickey Loomis and, like, handed him the towel that they were handing out to the fans. He's like, wave that around. And he, like, kind of did, and he's like, what's that going to do? And then they ended up getting bigger towels to wave for the whole stadium.
Nice.
And he's like, it goes like all the way down. Like it's always like, it's like thinking about ticket sales. He's like, it's a whole thing being an NFL head coach. And he said something else about what was it? Oh, just like how he bought like a $30,000 stereo system that they traveled around with New Orleans. Like it came with them. Because he's like, when we went on the road, I want everybody in that stadium to hear us having a good time. They called it Club Dub. They spent $30,000 on a stereo system, and they took it with them on every game.
I never knew that. That's pretty cool.
And like, I don't know, that guy went through a lot. I mean, when he took over, I mean, they just had Hurricane Katrina and like all the stuff they went through. It's crazy. So I'm just stoked that we have an actual head coach.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of, is Russell Wilson fixable?
Yep.
That's the big question.
Well, what I've brought up to a lot of people as well, that the big thing they got to fix is the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I think Russell Wilson was the most sacked quarterback.
Yep, he really was.
If you look at Drew Brees' entire career, I think he was only sacked like 400 and some times, and then Russell Wilson,
I think 66 last year, right?
Yeah, and then Russell Wilson is like just above him, and Drew Brees played 10 more years. So
yeah, because Russell Wilson is notorious for holding on to the ball for a while.
Well, and that was like a lot of his big thing was like he would hold on to the ball, and then you'd see Tyler Lockett sprint up open down the middle of the field, and he'd just chuck it down. But with that comes getting hit a lot, and having to take a bunch of sacks. So. Yeah. I'm stoked on it. I was really happy just to hear that press conference. I listened to it live, and I was like, okay, this sounds like a coach. It's not Nathaniel Hackett going, Russell Wilson, everybody.
Yep.
Sierra's over there. Oh, my God. It's just I'm just happy it's over.
I think it's awesome.
We're on to bigger and better things, and you know that he's who they wanted, I guess, from what they are telling us. I don't know how much we can believe that. Supposedly, since last week, this deal was pretty much in the works. It was just the compensation that was hanging it up. But yeah, things are getting better.
Did you see what he had to say about the Chiefs?
Yeah, and that's what we like. You heard what Nathaniel Hackett had to say last year, and it's just like this wishy-washy, like, well, it's too much energy to have hate.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton's like, they're like, who's your pick for the Super Bowl? He's like, Eagles. We don't want anybody in a division winning anything. And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
That's cutthroat, man.
Yeah,
I got to respect
that. The best week for the Broncos and Broncos fans is all teams losing except for us. So, yeah. I'm stoked on it. So
I'm happy for it, man, because like what Reed said too, when Andy Reid was asked about it during the Super Bowl interviews, he goes, I'm happy for it. It's better when the Broncos are good.
Yeah, no, it is. It's better. It's just like it's better when the Raiders are good too, but we all love to revel in their.
Dude, let's not go too far. What the fuck? No,
well,
we want the Raiders to be.
When the whole AFC West is good, it's better for everybody. There.
No, I disagree.
It makes it more competitive. We did forget to mention one thing about the Pro Bowl, though. I want to jump back. Myles Garrett did dislocate his toe, so there was an injury.
It was. That's why. It's kind of pointless.
Could be up in the air if he starts. No, I'm just kidding. I think he'll be okay. But yeah, Peyton's a great thing. AJ Green retired. Did you see that?
That is big news, man. His first 7 years,
really good years. He's one of those guys like Megatron, where it's just like, man, that sucks that you were on that team for so long.
It is. He made Andy Dalton a lot of money, and you look at his first 7 years, better than Hines Ward, better than Isaac Bruce, Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
but his career just fell off the cliff.
Injuries killed him.
I
think he had like turf toe or something like that.
I want to say
really
it was an ankle too.
Yeah, that
really
ruined a whole year for him.
Yeah, it sucks.
Super
man.
bummer.
Really talented there on the Bengals for a while, but yeah, that's sad news. The other thing I want to ask you about, man, let's get your pick before we get the final news, probably in the next couple of weeks. Where do you think that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, is going?
Man, a lot of me wants to say now I would put I almost said Oakland again. Las Vegas at top just because of Devontae.
Yeah. That's my pick.
But I mean, I could see him going to the Jets too. A lot of people have been saying you look at the Jets with Sauce and just the team they've built, that they are like a quarterback away. A lot of people think. From competing in that division and, doing maybe something in the playoffs. So I think the Jets would probably be my other choice. But right now I think Vegas is the favorites.
Yeah.
I'd put my money on Vegas.
Especially after what Devontae said at the Pro Bowl when he was asked about it. I think his
reply
him to be his
was, neighbor.
Duh. Yeah. They were asked, do you want Devontae to come to, or do you want Aaron Rodgers to come to Vegas? Duh. Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. Are you shitting me?
Here's why I don't think he goes to the Jets. I don't know if you were aware of this, but the owner of the Jets, do you know how he got his money?
I don't.
The pharmaceutical industry. The big adversary
not big pharma.
To Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers hates big pharma, as we know from the whole COVID
He loves holistic approaches.
He does, and he hates big pharma. He has been very vocal about that. So I think even though all the pieces fit, and Hackett, they need a quarterback, he would be good at Broadway Joe. He that loud personality. But I think that's the big kicker why he won't go there. And, the Raiders on still being like a bad guy, it's playing that villain role. It's perfect for him.
Yeah.
I'd see him coming there. I mean, could you imagine Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes in the same conference or same division?
We would be having the exact same conversation we had last year before the season
with
started.
a little more legitimacy,
yeah.
I think this time.
Yeah, a lot more, I think. Yeah, which is surprising.
I kind of hope he does come to the Raiders because I've always said, and that's what I was looking forward to in the preseason last year, is like if the AFC West is better, it's going to elevate the Chiefs to play better.
Yeah.
And luckily, they didn't need that this year. They were still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I see him going. Got to fit it in there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Drinking on a Mike's Hard Lemonade this week, guys.
We both. I've brought him over to the dark side.
He did. He got me in. It's not bad.
It's the 8% alcohol in the price point.
And the $4. I mean, dude, I'm halfway through it, and I'm like, God, I wish I would have bought two.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too. At first drink, they're a little overpowering on the sweetness level.
Yeah.
But then once you get, like, a third of the way and it just starts going down like
it
water.
does, man. Like you were here when I had that first sip, and I'm like,
I don't know.
But it's like all alcohol, you get that first shot out of the way, and you're like, let's keep going.
Yeah,
it's like Frank the Tank. It's so good once it hits the lips.
Frank the Tank. Still on the Rogers news. What do you think about his isolation retreat?
I think that like
sounds
right
weird.
up his alley. It's a darkness retreat. He does some. It's probably with Aubrey Marcus.
Yeah, 4 days, 4 nights in complete darkness.
And it's pretty weird.
I mean, they talk about like people being in darkness for long periods of time and like losing their minds.
Yeah, and I mean your body naturally needs light because there's rods and cones in your
your eyes,
eye nerves or whatever the fuck it is that need to see light, or it throws off your brain chemistry. So I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Maybe he
says you start having like hallucinations and stuff. I'm sure that's not the only thing he's doing on this retreat. He's probably gonna get into some ayahuasca.
Yeah, he's an odd dude.
Might smoke some DMT.
We talked about it. There's a big psychedelic conference that's here in Denver that he plans to come to. I think Jake Plummer's going to be there as well.
I'm sure he's got a giant mushroom growing operation.
He's awesome, dude. He's a pretty cool guy.
It's more like the reishi, or is it not reishi? What are those mushrooms called? There's like a bunch of different mushrooms. He grows like all those.
The lion's mane, which is just like
stuff
good
like
for
that.
Herbs, yeah. But yeah, it's funny. We will get into mushrooms a little later in this show.
Oh.
Yeah, we will.
Will we?
Because the rec center, man. That's where.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna be talking about. Chad's throwing me curveballs here, everybody. I don't know what he's doing.
But on Rogers, still, it's crazy. He won that pro-am in Pebble Beach.
He's a good golfer.
He is.
Yeah.
I wonder if
it's weird how all those quarterbacks are good golfers.
Is that strange? Like all quarterbacks have to be pretty good.
Remember J.R. Smith went to college and became a golfer,
and he wasn't too bad.
No, he wasn't. He actually did good in school.
Did he graduate this year? Because I know that's what was his.
I don't know if he did.
Goal.
We would have to look into that. I'm not entirely sure.
Yep.
I hope he did.
He was
good
an
for
old nugget.
Him. Yeah. That's who actually Jamal Murray just passed on the 3 points.
Oh, really?
Leaderboard to take second.
That's right.
J.R. Smith, a.k.a. J.R. Swish. Yeah.
I can't wait for him to pass Will Barton.
Yeah, that'll be nice. A couple more things on the news in the NFL to wrap up. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson are very far apart on the money talks.
Yep. $100 million
on guaranteed money. Yeah, that's a lot.
He's gonna be a Panther next year, man.
It's looking like it because I don't see them. If you're that far apart, I don't know how you get closer.
Nope.
So,
well, they've even said they're going to franchise tag him, and that's going to lead. He can't play if you're franchise tagged. It's like the Le'Veon Bell thing, to where you'll just be like, all right, I'm going to sit out, and he might have to sit out a year of football.
Yeah, which is crazy,
and that would be nuts because the Ravens would be in a bad position if they do that.
I mean, I hate to say it, I get why they don't want to pay him.
No, I think
the last 2 years he's been hurt at the end of the year, going into the playoffs, and I get it.
I mean, if he could learn to pass the ball more than 25 times a game and average over 225 passing yards, then it'd be something. But
it's just all those design runs, man.
Yep.
That's what killed Cam Newton's career.
Yeah, seriously.
So, I think they're just looking at it like that. I mean, any of the running quarterbacks, you don't last long.
I mean, that's why running backs' career is like maybe 2.9, three years at most these days.
If you're lucky,
yeah, if you're lucky. And when you're a quarterback like that, you turn into a running back that gets injured. So, yeah, I hope he gets out of the AFC. The AFC's already got an onslaught of quarterbacks, and so I even with like the Rodgers thing, I know he won't get traded to the NFC, but get these guys out of the AFC. We've got enough right now.
No. We want them all over here. Bring them all.
Yeah.
Other couple things just to wrap it up in the news. Ejiro Evero went to the Panthers as defensive coordinator.
He was the old Broncos defensive coordinator. They've had a really good defense over the last few years.
And the Panthers had a really good defense last year, too. I mean, that was basically the strong point of the team there for a while that kept them in a lot of games. So.
Yeah, that Steve Wilkes really utilized Brian Burns well. I think Brian Burns will either get paid this year, he'll go to a team and really make a lot of money.
Yeah,
that dude's good.
Unless Carolina wants to pay him. But speaking of Steve Wilkes, you said he went to San
Francisco, replacing DeMeco Ryans. It's cool, San Fran. you know, they hired a African-American coach with D'Amico Ryans, and they just keep the train rolling with Steve Wilkes.
They've always had, well, especially since Shanahan took over, they've always had a pretty diverse coaching staff. Yeah. They had that one female coach whose name I can't remember that you now said is on the Chiefs.
Was on the Chiefs. I don't know if she still is. Maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see. Yeah, definitely. And then Jim Schwartz. The Schwartz is strong.
Old Lions coach.
My Schwartz is bigger than yours. Yeah, the old Lions coach is now back in Cleveland, where he was at one point before, too. I think that's where he got his start as like a scout or something.
I think so.
He's back as a defensive coordinator. And then lastly, up until this point, the Falcons hire Ryan Nielsen, who was the basically like assistant defensive coordinator coach to, what's his name in New Orleans? He used to be a Broncos coach, too. Shit.
Not Dennis Allen?
Dennis Allen,
okay.
Yep. Dennis Allen.
So he's now the Atlanta defensive coordinator?
He was like the co-defensive coordinator / assistant coach. Head coach.
That could bode well. The Atlanta defense was horrible last year, so they need something. Oh, the Avs are up by 1 right now. Nice.
Hey, playing Pittsburgh.
Cool.
Nathan McKinnon's playing his good buddy and longtime hero, Sidney Crosby.
That's right.
They grew up together from the same town.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I knew they were friends, but I didn't know they grew up from the same town.
Yeah, same town. So, yeah, it was pretty cool when McKinnon went and had his parade with the cup. Crosby came out and partied with him.
Oh, that's rad. That's
pretty cool. That's about it for the NFL news and updates. Let's get into Super Sunday's Super Breakdown of the Super Bowl.
So we got the Super Bowl coming up. I just feel like let's pour one of this proper number 12. We need a shot.
We need to get Conor McGregor in on the show, damn it.
Oh, I didn't write it down, but I am going to bring up that news later.
That'll be perfect news for the UFC.
It is.
Oh, one thing before we get into this, and I wanted to bring this up in the intro, man. That slap fighting shit is wild.
You watch it?
I've been watching a bunch of the clips.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just like watching people get brain damage.
I can't watch it, man. It is so tough to watch. It's so stupid.
I can't believe it, dude. And then the irony of the fact that Dana White starts the slap league and then gets in trouble for slapping his wife.
It's nuts.
It's so ironic. It's sad. And then it's just like, I can't believe that they're going to try and roll this out as a sport. There's no way that medical professionals, that guy that I started watching on YouTube, the doctor who
does a lot of sports
injuries like right away. Will like break down what happened and like show you like on a skeleton what broke and like what all went wrong. He even said like this sport is horrible.
It's so dumb, man. Like
these people are like, I don't care how much you stand there. Like when boxing, like you're ready to get hit and you're moving and like so there's like glancing blows and shit. Like this is just straight up standing there and then boom. And it's not like a slap, dude. They're like hitting people like on the jaw.
And your open hand right there, that's like fucking solid.
Well, and a lot of them you see they're like hitting like right here on the palm.
That's what I mean,
like
man.
the meat, where the big bone is, and it's just you watch these people get knocked the fuck out.
Dumb, dude. I can't even deal with that shit.
I can't believe that TBS signed on to
Wow.
You didn't know that? Yeah, TBS is where that shit's going to be aired.
That just means it's just going to get bigger
and
bigger.
I think actually TBS is what's airing that. It's basically like the Tough show, The Ultimate Fighter, but like the Ultimate Slapper, Tuss.
Oh my Jesus.
It's not what it's actually called, but that's what we're going to call it.
Fucking deal with
so
this.
it's so ridiculous, man. But anyways, let's get into the Super Bowl and take this shot.
Yeah, let's do this.
In honor of your Chiefs.
The shot at turn. I just want to be able to talk about this right because I've been nervous about this for almost 2 weeks.
Good. I'm glad that you're nervous.
I am nervous. Of course, it's a fucking Super Bowl. To the Chiefs. Number 12 goes down easy.
It does. It's a really good drinkable whiskey, especially over fucking ice.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
On the rocks.
That's how I like to enjoy my whiskey.
Nice sipping whiskey.
Few rocks.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it.
I want to kind of go down a couple of the headlines because we're going to spend a little more time on this.
A few of the same. So.
Probably.
Yeah.
First of all, I called it this earlier, but it is the Kelsey Bowl.
Yep.
It is the first time the two brothers have played against each other in the Super Bowl.
Very true.
Have you seen the petition to have Mama Kelsey do the coin flip.
I have signed that petition.
Have you?
Petition. Yeah.
You said it fucked up too.
I did. You messed me up.
The petition.
Last I checked, I think it was over 100,000 signatures.
When I wrote this part today at in the afternoon, it was at 172,000.
Holy shit.
And they need to get to 200,000. I don't know what that's going to do.
I don't
really understand those petitions.
You know, it's the NFL, and they'll be like, no offense to veterans or anything like that, but they always have a veteran. Or maybe
They might do someone famous too sometimes.
Sometimes they do that, but if they were smart, they are called the No Fun League for a reason. The NFL. This would be a proper opportunity to negate that and embrace.
Just be a wholesome moment, especially if both of them were captains, which they would be.
Yep, they would be.
It's a really good opportunity that you are right. The NFL is going to drop the ball on because they're no fun.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do, and everybody's going to boo. And I just think if it happens, I'm going to be all about it, cheering, because I've listened to the podcast that she was on today with both of them, the New Heights. She's a treat. She is such a
seems
good
like
mom.
She's pretty cool.
Last night at the Super Bowl, she brought him out cookies.
Yeah, I saw that. They got 2 little containers of cookies.
Yeah.
And then I saw that pretty cool moment with Travis after, because his dad was in Kansas City. I think they went to both games. I'm not entirely sure.
Last week, no, his mom went to
Philly, and then his dad went to. Yeah, it was cool to see him and his dad though after that, hugging and stuff.
Oh, you mean Travis and his dad?
Yeah, Travis and his dad.
I think he watched the reel from the Super Bowl. That wasn't.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a really hard. It's got me. I think when I first watched it after the Super Bowl, it really got me going because they hug, and he's like, "You've deserved this. You've worked so hard." Yeah, that was after the Super Bowl against the 49ers.
I literally just assumed that was after that championship game.
It's tough. I mean, they have a lot of championships, so you get to mix together.
It's easy, just all bleed together.
Yeah, but
condiments, colors of condiments, just bleeding together on my screen. That was. I think that'd be cool, but you're right. They're probably gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's a perfect opportunity to have something cool happen and something that everybody wants, and they're gonna be like,
no, we had this plan for 6 months. This is what's gonna happen.
Change it.
Yeah.
Other things. Speaking of, it is Black History Month this month. We haven't forgot that.
True.
So cheers to Black History Cheers to Black History Month. And in the name of that, this is the first time that 2 black quarterbacks have faced off in the Super Bowl. So we've got a big first.
2 brothers, and then also 2 brothers playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brothers squared, man.
That's right.
I like it.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of similarities between these 2. It's almost like they were meant to play together. I'm sure these are a few of the same things that you had written down.
Aside from Patrick Mahomes having a famous MLB player as his dad.
I don't know what you're talking. Well, I know about that, but what's that have to do with this game?
Because you're talking about how they have similarities.
No. Okay. Let me just go through.
Are you talking about the teams or are you talking about the quarterbacks? Because we just spoke about the quarterbacks.
No, I'm talking about the teams. Okay. So both teams are 16-3. Both teams score 560 points. 546 points.
We're gonna get through this together.
I can't fucking say that word.
We're gonna get through this together.
546 points total this season. Both teams right on the money with that.
Yeah.
Both teams have 6 All-Pros. And then, of course, both teams have a Kelsey.
Both those Kelseys are All-Pros. Both those QBs are All-Pros,
and then both the QBs were basically tied for MVP. One's a little further.
Hurts got hurt.
Yeah.
I think it would have been neck and neck.
I think he probably would have gotten the MVP if he would, just because of his rushing yards. But either way, let's just stop for a second and realize, what are the odds for those 2 teams to both have that?
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I mean, and they were both first in their conference, too.
They were both first. They were both the number 1 seed. Yeah.
All pretty wild. It's also it's also the 5th time that a head coach has taken on his old team in the Super Bowl. Andy Reid was the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles at one point.
That is another good connection.
Yeah, where he led Philly to their most wins in franchise history, 130. He had a .583 winning percentage, so he's winning over half his games, almost 60%.
Took him to 4 NFC championships.
Yep, 10 postseason wins and 1 Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
So,
well, the really interesting thing here, too, is when Andy Reid left Philadelphia and came to Kansas City, there was a man named Nick Sirianni that was the wide receivers coach on Kansas City. Andy Reid's like, I don't know this guy. I've
Fired.
got my own guy, Dave Coley, who ended up being the Texans head coach.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni goes on to his own path and eventually coaches the Eagles to
the Super
Bowl. And now he faces
He's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about that,
He
too.
does. He's been asked about it the past couple of days, and Peter King, who was on PTI today, said that he doesn't – he's a pretty famous NBC reporter. He said that it's not anything that Nick Sirianni really dwells on too much, but – Nick Sirianni came out and said, I'm a competitive guy. I definitely think about it. So
I mean, he likes to play rock, paper, scissors with people.
Does he really?
Do you remember that from his press conference?
I didn't
He's
know.
like, I want to get guys in here and find out if they're competitors. I mean, we'll play rock, paper, scissors right here.
That's nuts. I've never heard that before. That's crazy.
It was like from his opening presser.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
connections between
that are
these
weaving.
two.
Yeah.
Yep.
20 degrees of separation.
Yeah,
is what they call it.
No, they call it 6 degrees. You're 14 off, but
you can add, you can subtract, you can multiply,
Close.
You can divide, you can do whatever you want with numbers, dude. Yeah. What is X? I don't know.
All right, so
let's figure it out.
Let's cut into the
a couple other things.
The meat of it.
Before we get there, are a few other things.
All right, I want to get to the meat. Okay,
I know we're kind of in the meat of it. This is the meat we're chewing the fat right now.
All right,
according to the American Gaming Association, 50.4 million U.S. adults will place bets on this game to the tune of $16 billion.
I saw that. $16 billion.
That's insane.
Yeah, I won't be one of them. I've had 3 or 4 people at work ask me, "You want to bet on this game?" And I've told them, "No, I'm already too."
I might do a prop bet
with me.
No, I just think it might throw a prop bet out. The over/under on the national anthem.
But I won't even do
like that.
Like I'm so even throughout the playoffs,
coin toss.
I don't bet on it. I'm just too emotionally involved. Yeah. I just don't want to jinx it.
That's the thing about the Super Bowl too, is the prop bets are just so insane.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the
just
coin
anything.
toss and everything. Yeah, I actually meant to put one on Jokic for rebounds tonight. I might.
No, you might want to because he's back.
Dude, yeah,
we'll get into that one later.
Yep.
Big question though: will Mahomes and Kelsey tie or break Brady and Gronk's 15 touchdowns for the most in playoff history?
I think they will. I really think they will because the cornerbacks for Philly, you can name them. Go ahead, Chris. Pop quiz.
I don't know any of them.
You're lying. Are you for real?
Not off the top of my head.
Darius Slay.
Oh yeah, Darius Slay. Yeah.
And then Chris Brad. No, that's not Brad. His last name's Bradbury, but he's really good. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys.
I thought you were quizzing me like they were nobodies, and it just threw me for a loop.
Okay. No,
you're like, who are they? You can't name them. And I was like, you're right, I can't. Not off the top of my head.
No, they are really good. I mean, and that's why, I have a hard time. And the Chiefs wide receiver is already kind of banged up. So I could see this game. It's obvious they're going to be trying to force the ball to Kelsey, but the thing of it is they name their safeties.
Yeah, I can't do that. See, now that is what I thought you were doing.
On the Bengals, however, they got Jesse Bates, they got some lockdown safeties, but I think that, and that's normally when it comes to pass plays. Sometimes if you got a lockdown corner, they will take the tight end, but normally it's a mismatch. You're going to use your strong safety to guard the tight end.
Yeah.
And I think Kelsey's going to win that matchup.
Yeah, strong safety or linebacker if they can cover him. But usually they're too slow. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, one other thing that I thought was crazy. Why was Melvin Gordon getting interviewed today?
I don't know. Was
he? Practice squad running back.
Oh, my God.
He's talking about his time in Denver, dude.
Jesus.
Saying how he never got his chance. They only wanted Vontae to be the starter. I never got my fair shake. And it's like, his leg broke. Not broke, but I mean, he had an ACL in like week 3, and you played the whole rest of the time until you got traded. What do you mean you didn't get a chance?
He didn't get a chance.
Yeah, he did.
I'm kidding. Yeah, he definitely did. I wanted to see.
I was like, what are you talking about?
He fumbled the ball too much. Like, why are they interviewing him? Like, I did see what they're going to interview, like Trevor Lawrence and Tyreek Hill. And, yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. I saw where Tyreek's, supporting the Chiefs. Good for him. I'm glad that he's not salty. But Andy Reid had a really good comment today. Did you see this today?
About the starter sit with the...
not that.
I didn't see that then.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this prop bet for Jokic.
It's okay. Well, I saw Andy Reid today talking about someone asked him his starter sit on hamburger joints, and they gave him like 5, and it was like 5 Guys, In and Out.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
I forget what all the other ones are. But he's like, well, I grew up on In and Out. And he's like, but I've had some 5 Guys. He's like, I'd start all of them.
That's awesome. I believe, man. He loves his cheeseburger. That's fantastic.
So that was pretty funny. But
that's cool. But about Tyreek, when he was asked, like, how do you feel about Tyreek? He goes, no, I'm really happy for him. He made a lot of money and he got a lot of yards.
Wait, who asked about that? Pat Mahomes?
No, there was a reporter that asked Andy Reid about Tyreek, and I feel like it was such a diplomatic way of saying, yeah, he wanted to get paid.
They weren't going to pay him that.
No, not at all. They did offer him a good chunk of money, but not that. But I think it was such a good way to be like, yeah, he got paid and he got a lot of yards, but is he here? In the Super Bowl?
Are we now?
No.
Is he getting another ring? Nah.
Yep.
His quarterback's still in concussion protocol.
No, he's out now.
Is he?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 days ago.
It's so crazy. It's that long.
That's pretty nuts.
So,
getting down to the game, Philly has allowed 215 yards per game. That is fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, you look at their defense, they're 8th in scoring, allowed 344 points this year. 2nd in yards allowed, 5,125. They're 5th in turnovers with 27. 13th in first downs allowed, 12th in passing attempts, 556. First in passing yards allowed, 3,057. That's not a lot of passing yards allowed on them. Like you were talking about with them cornerbacks. They're locking people down. 10th in passing touchdowns, 22 allowed. 5th in interceptions with 17. 12th in rushing attempts, 446. 16th in yards in rushing, 2,068. 17th in rushing touchdowns allowed. This defense is definitely the strong point.
They really are. I mean, Hassan Reddick, I don't even think you got to it, how many sacks they had.
No, I didn't get to sacks, no.
70 sacks in the regular season.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think it was like 2nd or 3rd most all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a damn good defense that the Chiefs are going up against.
One thing I just realized this the other day, everybody forgets Ndamukong Suh's like a 2nd or 3rd string.
Yeah.
Lineman
and, believe me, I have not forgotten because the last time the Chiefs were in a Super Bowl, they were going up against Suh when he was on the Bucs.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Mahomes doesn't want to get hit again. And he's going to be getting rid of the ball fast.
Suh will twist an ankle, man. Yeah, that ankle's hurt.
Don't be saying, why you
he'll do that
like that? What the fuck, dude?
That's what he'll do.
Yeah, he did early in his
stomp
career.
Somebody.
He had a bad history with like playing dirty, but I know that's kind of like gone down a little bit.
It's because his playing time went down.
Yeah, exactly. He was dirty as shit early. But what I was getting at is Philly has allowed only 215 yards per game, which is just astronomical when it comes to defensive scoring. But the Chiefs average 424 yards per game, double that.
Yeah.
So it's so great that's why I love these Super Bowl matchups that end up being number 1 seeds, because you got the number 1 offense going up against the number 1 defense.
Yeah.
Which one's going to bend?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's like you said, the Chiefs are 1st in points scored. They're 1st in yards. You
got passing yards.
Yeah, yards total too, 7,032. 1st in first downs. I mean, 1st in passing yards, like you just said. 1st in touchdowns, 41. I mean, they're middle of the road when it comes to interceptions and stuff like that. Rushing those where they do not do well.
Yeah, they're about middle of the pack when it comes to rushing, and that's also a factor that really worries me because, I mean, we've talked about it last week, that Philadelphia 3-headed attack. It's not just Kenneth Gainwell and Miles Sanders. You got Boston Scott that comes in there sometimes and will get a goal line touch.
And Jalen Hurts himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That dude, that's what worries me the most, because the Chiefs, and this is why the whole year when I thought, like, man, if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, God, I hope they don't play the Eagles. I mean, I've thought about this a lot because, we had a good team. They did too, because we suck against mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, that basically nullifies Chris Jones at that point if he's getting outside and around him.
That's it. Chris Jones, he ain't that. Chris Jones is athletic.
Yeah.
And he's not Jalen Hurts.
So.
And once he rushes him out of the pocket, this is the big key factor in this game. Will Nick Bolton or Willie Gay or maybe Leo Chenal or one of the other linebackers be able to contain Jalen Hurts? If that can happen, that's going to be the big factor.
Yeah, it's just it's the Philly offense going against, which is slightly better. Like, you've got the first ranked offense basically in Kansas City, one of the best defenses in Philly. But I feel like the weakness for the Chiefs is the defense.
Yeah.
And it's really not a weakness for Philly on the offensive side of the ball.
It's nuts because when it comes down to stats-wise, like, you would think, when you look at it on paper, it's definitely the weakness. But for some reason, this is Spag's career, dating back to his defeats over Brady, 2007, and then 2010 with the Giants. Like, this guy knows how to dial up the right defenses in the right situations.
Yeah.
And that's where, all year long, when we break down these games and we do our research, I mean, the Chiefs defense, I'll admit, they really aren't jumping off the page. But in these big games, like we saw last week,
they show up when they need to.
They really do. And that's why I mean, that's just it. I know Chris Jones is going to get through there. It's going to be fun because a lot of times he's going to be going up against Travis's brother, Jason.
Yeah.
But I really like the way Spags has been using him because it seems like what they do, Chris really gets to know which lineman is starting to get tired, and on third down, he'll move him to that weakest lineman, and then just knock.
Well, I mean, the only problem with the Philly line, though, is they're all beasts.
They're all good, dude.
They've got, like, the top line in the league.
They got a guy that's fucking a demigod in Lane Johnson that's playing through an abdominal tear.
And what's his name, Mayata? The fucking guy,
Jordan Mailata.
Mailata, I fucked it up.
They're all
from
good,
Australia.
Man. They could have
sing good too.
3 or 4. Dude, that Christmas album was great.
Good.
It was great. It was awesome, man.
That dude can sing like a motherfucker.
I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, like, that's what's so tough about this is because, I said it all year long. The Eagles is what took me into my fantasy championships. I mean, I had Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, there were some weeks where I started five Eagles players. Because even the kicker, Jake Elliott's not bad either.
No.
So, I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously, I'm going to want my Chiefs to win 100% of the time, but I know, and that's why I drafted these guys, is I know how good the Eagles are, and it's, let me get after this too, because I just gave the Eagles credit. The Eagles did play, they tied the Giants this year for the easiest schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. The Chiefs, they had the hardest schedule. Their first 8 games this year were against teams the previous year that had winning records. That is the first time a team has faced that type of first 8 games in NFL history.
Yeah.
And to still come out as the number 1 seed, I think really it's going to speak volumes to how they perform if that tough schedule comes to.
Yeah, and I'll give you that, but also Philly beat those teams like they should have been beaten most of the time.
They
too.
did. Yeah.
Like, there's a few, don't get me wrong.
Till week 11, I did see some breakdowns today, one by NBC Sports, I think it was, where they really broke it down from like week 11 to week 17. They really started to fall off a little bit,
I think they came down to earth a little bit. I think people started to kind of figure out what they were doing. And that's always going to happen. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, this is one of the better matchups for the Super Bowl in a while. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
Chris, should we make our picks?
Well, you know who I'm going to pick.
I know you're my best friend. I know you're not going to do this to me. You're going to pick the Chiefs, right?
No, absolutely not, Chad.
Why are we even friends?
Because you should know this by now. It's just like Sean Payton said. I can't root for the Chiefs, man. If it's not my team in the West.
You're just going to fall. So if your head coach wanted you to jump off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff?
If he provided the proper equipment, which I feel like Sean Payton would, yes, I would jump off of that cliff. He'd probably have the best equipment possible.
A parachute with the Broncos logo on it.
Broncos logo.
I can't believe you want the Eagles to win. Damn it. Well, then next week I can't wait for this episode.
We could do a whiskey wager on it, too. That's the whiskey. There's only really one game to pick, so you might as well make it that way.
Well, we're about at that point where we need new whiskey. How about this? Whoever, on this whiskey wager,
whoever wins it to buy a new bottle.
Just a pint.
Okay, a pint.
Works.
Well, a bottle, whatever.
Yeah.
Bottle's a bottle. We don't have to talk about size. Size doesn't matter, Chad.
Size does matter. And a pint.
Exactly.
It suffices.
Yeah, exactly.
So a pint?
Pint. All right. Pint.
Wait, hold on. Obviously, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Yeah, we knew that. I think anybody who has, even if they're listening to the show for the first time, knew that you were picking the Chiefs. Which means, if you're listening to the show right now, please go subscribe and rate us 5 stars on whatever it is. We need more 5-star ratings. We've
definitely
got
follow our
only
Instagram.
5-star ratings. We just need a lot more. Yeah. Yes, follow our Instagram. Also, reach out to us, fringefanatics.podcast@gmail.com, or DM us directly if there's anything you want us to talk about. Or
got questions. We'll bring those questions up and we'll give you guys a shout out.
We'll talk about them.
Yep.
Whatever it is. Well, Chad, we are at a point now. We've made our pick. Should we get to the musical break, which I haven't picked yet? So we're still kind of... We'll have something by the time this episode comes out, but right now it's up in the air.
I got faith in you. Can you do Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, I can get a hold of somebody.
Can you email Jimmy Page?
Yeah.
To see if it's chill, if we play his music.
I'll reach out to John Bonham. See if I can get to Jimmy.
Do
no, John.
Seance.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Bonham's the one who took a bunch of vodka and died.
Yeah. Well, he got his son.
Yeah, his son. Yeah, reach out to his son.
Reach out to his son.
Dude, I like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Favorite Led Zeppelin song? Go.
Oh, man.
5, 4, 3, 2. You're gonna say Immigrant Song.
No, I was gonna say Dire Maker, which is hard to say. As I was trying to make sure how you say.
Dire Maker, right?
I think it's supposed to sound like Jamaica. Jamaica.
Oh, really?
I think it's why it's Jamaica.
No, I didn't know that.
I think it's like phonetically spelled.
That's your favorite one?
That's one of my favorite ones.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Immigrant Song for me.
Definitely.
That's a rad one.
Good one.
I loved that one.
Yeah.
And then they played it in Thor Ragnarok, and I was like,
"Fuck
yes!" Well, let's get into it. I know you'll pick somebody good.
Yeah, we'll pick somebody. You guys will hear them. I've already got feelers out to people. I'm just waiting to hear back. So as soon as I do, which we've got a couple days, unless I get this out tomorrow, which is possible. If I get it out tomorrow, then you'll know right away. But anyways, whoever it is, you're gonna hear them right now, and we will be back here in just a second. And we are back once again. You just heard somebody that I have not picked yet, but when I do, you will know all about them next week for sure. We'll make sure to tag them on everything as well. But until then, we are getting into the NBA fast break right now. As you can see, Chad does have his Jokic shirt on right over there.
Represent.
He's looking good.
The
3-time MVP, soon to be, rocking on his shirt over there.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, we're going to get into that soon.
They play here shortly. We got the pregame going right now. We're probably within about 10 or 15 for them.
We're actually in 4 minutes away. But you never know, though. They always say 7 p.m., and then there's some game before.
It never tips off at 7 p.m. It's always 7:10 or so.
On that note, though, this is the halftime shot. It's because we already took the shot at the turn because Chad just called a curveball shot at the turn.
Just keep taking shots.
He wants to take shots. He wants to get drunk tonight, so it is what it is. Here's to you guys. Here's to the NBA. Here's to Fast Breaks. Here's to Fringe Fanatics.
Here's to the Nuggets, too.
Here's to the Nuggets. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm really excited about tonight's game because they played the Timberwolves just a couple days ago, and the Nuggets. I think Michael Malone was pretty pissed that they scheduled that game. You know, you saw those comments?
Yeah, he was not happy. They played, what was it? It was a
back-to-back, and it was less than 24 hours from the last time
22 hours from tip-off to tip-off.
Yep.
Obviously, they sat almost every starter.
Yep.
It was Murray, Jokic, KCP, and
Gordon was the only one that... No, Gordon played... No.
Gordon didn't play.
No, okay, it was Porter that played.
Porter played, yeah. Porter played. And we'll get into the deep dive of the game here in a little bit. I actually brought this up in that, but it's fine. We're going into it now because it's kind of a hot topic because we brought it up last week too. These back-to-back games are getting to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know the schedule makers, but they need to get their shit together, man.
Well, it's so stupid too. They played the night before. They had to fly out to Minnesota to play a game and then fly immediately back to Denver to play Minnesota in Denver tonight.
I don't know what their deal is, man. Like, if we need to make the season longer, I don't
stretch it. It's like we said last week. Cut 10 games out.
Yeah, that would
get rid of back-to-backs.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
That's what I think is so dumb is the back-to-backs. I mean, these guys running back and forth for 48 minutes. It's fucking dumb.
Well, I mean, you have all these people, like especially on the news around here, because everybody's going off about this because of Malone's comments, saying like, oh, you know, Jordan back in the day, he played 82 games and played every back-to-back, and you know, I don't know, man. Things are different, and unfortunately, we just got to move forward with things being different.
Well, God, I wish I could remember who brought it up, but there is a good stat that argues that. Damn it, I wish I had this ready. But it's basically where the possession lasts longer. You know, there's more, and actually more possessions.
More of the clock.
And so back in the day, even though Jordan, Stockton, all those guys were Iron Men, they would take way more time off the clock. Nowadays, because everybody's bigger, stronger, faster, taller, the game moves way faster.
That's true, and this is something I brought up to my dad because he always brings up, like, well, back in the day in the NFL, you know, these guys were hitting hard and never missed a game. Yeah, and I was like, they're also half the size and running at a quarter of the speed.
Yeah,
these guys nowadays, and a lot of these guys too, especially you look at baseball, you look at NBA, these games that can be played year round if you travel or whatnot. I mean, NBA can be played wherever because it's indoors, but you look at stuff like that. These kids are playing travel ball. I mean, when I played travel ball back in the day, we were playing 80, 90 games a year with practices and scrimmages and shit.
You played travel ball?
Yeah.
What, in basketball?
No, in baseball.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was on a travel team growing up.
What position did you play?
Second a lot and a little bit of shortstop and catcher too.
No shit?
Yeah.
80 to 90 games?
Dude, we would go to a tournament and play 10 games on the weekend, and then we'd like do games in between. Like, dude, it was crazy. We played so many games,
man.
I got burnt out. That's why I didn't play sports in high school, because I got burnt out on that shit.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't
but
know
you
that.
have kids growing up now where they're playing baseball, basketball all year.
I got some friends that live, I want to say it's in Texas. Kayla Green and Josh Green, their son is like, I wish I could remember their son's name right now, but he looks like Patrick Mahomes. It's crazy. He's like half black, and so he's got those curly hair and stuff. So like he's got some swag about him, but he's good. And I think he's like in 8th grade or something like that. And he's been playing on a travel team where it's like national competition.
Yeah,
they go all around, and to me, like, I got mad respect for that. But that's what LeBron James did. He wasn't playing for like we're Valley High School or something like that. Like, he was playing for St. Mary's and everything like that. But like, he was playing basketball year round every year since like 7th grade or something.
These kids playing travel like baseball and shit, like pitchers, dude, they're pitching constantly.
Yeah.
And like, oh, why can't they pitch a full game anymore? That's why, man.
Yeah.
They've thrown more innings by the time they've got to the major leagues than a lot of those guys back in the day pitched in their entire careers.
Well, what speaks to that, too, is like what we talked about last week, how the average age of the NFL quarterback in the playoffs this year was 25.3.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think what leads to that are the high-level football camps that these guys go to when they're in middle school, high school, because they didn't have that stuff back
speaking
in the
of
day.
which, I think every quarterback in the playoffs this year went to the Manning Passing Academy.
No way, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Mahomes did.
Yeah.
Really, no shit. That's pretty cool.
Every one of them. So, yeah, and that's the thing, though. Like, these guys are playing all the time. And that's why, like, we get to the NBA and to get back on track a little bit, it's just 82 games, traveling the way they do. I mean, back in the day, I give him credit. Like Larry Bird, he couldn't even sit on the bench when he was the Pacers coach because of how fucked up his hips and his back were from playing all the time. Those guys are flying on, like, coach back in the day. They didn't get, like, a private jet and shit. These, like, tall-ass dudes sitting in coach back in the 70s and 80s. I get it, man. Those guys.
Dude, I heard stories back in like the late 60s and early 70s to where the team doctor was basically like a regular physician.
Yeah.
They didn't have a staff of 20 different team doctors like they do nowadays.
People just nutrition, people just working about muscles, people worrying about like skeletal stuff, like just.
They had one trainer. It was basically like a league of their own where they're just like traveling around and you're like, oh, that's the guy. He'll put a Band-Aid on you. You know, like things were way different then. And yeah, I mean, it's a real hot topic, and we could spend, you know, minutes on this, just like, you know, at least an hour just on the whole load management thing. But it's just,
it all boils down to science, man.
They've
been figuring this shit out. Like
Yeah.
people just spend their whole lives working on the shit now.
It's nuts. We could really argue both sides of it for a while, but I'm, you know, and that's just it. Like when I saw they were sitting last night, or a couple nights ago, I was bummed because it was a Sunday night. I was looking forward to watching the Nuggets, but you know, it gives us a chance to check out the bench and see how they did. Christian Brown got a career high with 19 points.
Yeah, that's the thing. For people like us, it's okay because like we understand, like we're getting to watch the next crop, we're getting to watch the up and comers. But those people who worked all month to, or spend a shitload of money to take their family to the game, and you're like, oh, nobody's playing tonight.
Well, I mean, and that's what some people have said too. That's just like, you understand the refund policies on a plane ticket, or when I want to buy a ticket, when we do decide after football season to go to a Nuggets game, we're not going to go to a back-to-back. That's just common sense.
But there are like the regular fans who don't know that shit. So
for sure, I get it. I do.
Well, let's move on real quick because we do got to talk about LeBron real quick.
Yeah, he's the number
36
one on my
points.
36 points away.
So it could be tonight.
Game starts at 8 p.m. tonight. Plays the Thunder. I don't know if this is true or not, but I did see this little clip from when he got interviewed by Michael Wilbon, who I've said before is my favorite sports journalist. He said he's, in his eyes, the best basketball player that's ever played. Is that true?
I saw those quotes, and I literally saw it on the way over, or before I left. So it was like right before I was on my way over here. I hope he didn't.
I just think that is the most conceited, blasphemous.
You don't get to make that statement. I mean, that's your feeling, fair enough, but nobody's going to take it that way.
Nope. Tony Kornheiser said it best on PTI today, that, another one of my favorites, where he said, when it comes to Ovechkin and Gretzky,
they know.
Ovechkin may pass Gretzky, and he may be the greatest all-time scorer, like
Yeah.
LeBron, but Gretzky's the best player.
Yeah.
So that's why it pissed me off when LeBron made those comments, and just the stuff he said recently. I mean, the Starbucks thing, cool. Like, if he beats Kareem, good for him, like, that's awesome. He's a good player. He's given me a lot of good memories watching the game, Miami, on the Cavs and everything like that. But
The Decision. Remember that?
Yeah, the special that they did on it.
Yeah. Real quick though, on speaking of Gretzky, you brought this up in all-time scorers. Jaromir Jagr, just passed Wayne Gretzky for the all-time points leader in professional hockey.
Isn't that pretty crazy?
He's 51 years old.
Ain't that nuts? 51 playing hockey.
Hockey players are fucking nuts, dude. They're wild.
They're a different breed, man. For sure. They are.
The other big news, though, obviously, Kyrie got traded.
Big news. Yeah, Kyrie Irving.
Now a Dallas Maverick.
Maybe the best ball handler in NBA history.
Yeah.
It's
the best debating. Robin in NBA history because he couldn't do without a Batman.
True. He needs the Batman. Yeah. I mean, we've seen this since
Scottie Pippen 2.0.
Yep. Well, I mean, no,
Scottie was better. That was a diss on Scottie.
That was a diss on Scottie.
Sorry, Scottie.
Do that.
I know you're listening.
Kyrie, man, this dude, he once skipped out on some games because he wanted to go to his sister's birthday party. I mean, this guy notoriously misses work. You know, if you were working at Amazon and you're a district manager and you see this guy that shows up and says, "No, there was riots at the Capitol. I don't want to go to work," you'd be like,
"Yeah,
fucking fired."
Yeah, and also I think I saw the entire tenure of him and KD. They played like 74 games together or something like that.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's what's nuts is KD is the one that wanted to make this all happen. The whole big trio, James Harden, Kyrie, and look at him now.
They just all left him.
Yeah, the Nets did come out today and say they have no intention on trading.
No, I did see that they were talking about what the future is going to be, and I have a feeling Durant's like, your future ain't with me, man. I'm leaving as soon as the season's over.
The Suns really want him.
Yeah, they're going to have to give up
everything.
DeAndre Ayton or something like that.
DeAndre Ayton, I'd say, I don't even remember.
Speaking of which,
Bridges, probably.
God damn it, what's his name from the Suns?
Devin Booker?
Yeah, he's back tonight.
Oh, it's finally making.
He's finally back.
God, he's probably been out 2 months or so, right?
It's been a while.
Damn.
Kyrie, though, in that trade.
Goes to Dallas.
Yeah, went to Dallas. Brooklyn receives Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2027 second-round pick, 2029 first-round pick, which is unprotected, so wherever they end up, they get that pick, and a 2029 second-round pick. Dallas, in turn, receives Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris.
What do you think of that trade? Do you think it's going to bolster the Mavs any?
I don't trust Kyrie at all, and I see him finding an issue with the Mavs too. I honestly thought, I'm surprised, and I think LeBron was surprised that he didn't wind up with the Lakers. I think that threw
apparently they didn't give up enough for him because I guess the Lakers did try making a run for him.
Yeah,
he said he was disappointed that they didn't get Kyrie, but when it comes down to it, I mean, I don't think that he would have helped anybody. He's one of those guys, if you're playing at Rutgers Park, if you're playing on a playground, he's going to help you win. Because that's how games are played on a playground where it's ISO ball. It's just like no defense, who can score the most points.
And he's going to be playing second fiddle to Luka. Yep. Luka is basically the ball handler.
He is.
What is Kyrie going to do?
So Windhorst talked about this on ESPN yesterday, how the Dallas Mavericks, or maybe it was Tim Legler, either way, it was
one of the talking heads.
One of the best. I can, when it comes to NBA, Legler, Adrian Wojnarowski, and Windhorst to me are the best.
Yeah.
And they said that the Mavs average the most ISO ball in the NBA, which, you know, casual fans out there, isolation plays are basically when you let your best player take the ball and then everybody else spreads out and be like, all right, you make a play.
Jokic, basically.
Yep. Yeah. And when it comes to the Mavs, when you bring in Kyrie, how's that going to work? Are they going to alter that a little bit to try to make it more of a team-facilitated offense?
Yeah, where Kyrie is going to be the facilitator and Luka's going to be standing around making plays and shit.
Trying to rebound.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm super
I don't
fascinated.
get this. So,
did you see who he's going to make his debut against?
The
Lakers.
That's funny.
Ain't that nuts, dude?
Yeah.
But, I mean, he can't play defense. Kyrie, obviously, like I said, he's a playground player. They don't play defense, and that's going to hurt the Mavs. You got to play defense on a team that doesn't really have too good of – they don't really have – especially with Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie was a good defensive player.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn – I don't really know if either team got better. I mean, I think Brooklyn got some guys that they can probably trade next year and stuff and, like, you know, make pieces for something else. Because – if they lose Durant, they're in full rebuild mode at that point. They're blowing everything up. So they'll be trading everybody probably. So I don't know, man. Dallas, I don't get it. I think it's a last-ditch attempt to keep Luka around because I think they know the writing's on the wall.
I agree.
He doesn't want to play there anymore.
That's a good call.
And I think they're trying to do everything they can to keep him happy. And I think this is going to make everything worse.
I think so, too, because I think after this just, like, half season that Luka has to play with Kyrie, he's going to hate it and want out of there and force a trade more than ever.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work because normally, like with the NBA, it's like plug and play when guys get traded. But I feel like this one's going to definitely, it's not a plug and play thing. Like you are going to have to rethink how your team plays basketball now.
No doubt.
To fit him in. So we'll see what happens. Let's get into the Eastern Conference real quick. We'll do what we've been doing in the fast break, just going through the top three, giving you a rundown of the 4 through 6. In the Eastern Conference, you've got Boston still 38-16. Tatum scores 34, grabs 11 rebounds, and had 6 assists as the Celtics beat the Pistons 111-99 last night. Tatum did miss his first 5 shots, and by the end of the second half, he had 3 fouls to go with his 3 shots made out of 10. So Tatum definitely had a little bit of a slow start. He scored 18 in the third quarter to give the Celtics an 18-point lead. Detroit did rally back in the fourth to get it within 7 while Tatum was out. He came back in and quickly nipped that in the bud, which is another saying I don't understand fully. But I say it a lot, so I'm just talking out loud now. Jaylen Brown missed this game with a non-COVID illness. They take on the 76ers tomorrow night, which, brings us to the Bucks sitting in second at 37-17. They are 1 game back from the Celtics now, which is pretty surprising.
They've won 8 straight now.
Yeah, 8 straight, and having Giannis. I just said it again.
You keep doing it, dude.
After having Giannis playing out of his mind as of late, the Bucks grabbed, like you said, their 8th straight win. They beat Portland 127-108 last night. Brook Lopez was the star of this game, though. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't know that.
Dropped 27 points and grabbed 9 rebounds and hit a 3-pointer in the third quarter that put him over 15,000 total career points.
Wow.
That's how long he's been in the league.
That's crazy. Good for him.
Giannis had 24 points and 13 rebounds as the Bucks led that game wire to wire, pushing the lead to 26 at one point in the second half. Giannis had a triple-double on Saturday night. It was 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists. He now has firmly planted himself in the top 3 in the MVP race, I think. It's basically Jokic, Embiid, and him now, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure everybody has their own opinions. But, they play the Lakers Thursday night, so that's going to be a pretty damn good game.
The Nuggets do?
No, the Bucks do.
Okay.
Yeah, Bucks. Yeah. We're still in the Eastern Conference.
Sorry, I'm watching the Nuggets game right now, and I get distracted.
It's okay.
Yep, we're good.
We got the Nuggets on. Game just started. 10:33 in the first quarter. It is 5-3. Denver over Minnesota.
Well, like when we talked about the last episode where Giannis hit 50 and they lost, and he criticized his team a lot. I think that really made a big difference. Yeah. Ever since then, they've been on a winning streak.
They have been. Yep. They've been playing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Let's get into the third place 76ers, the other MVP in this league, Embiid.
We don't like Embiid.
Which I'm going to talk something about him real quick here in a little bit. They lose to the Knicks after the Knicks rally from down 21 points. Julius Randle had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, and Jalen Brunson scored 21 points. Joel Embiid, listen to this stat line, Chad. 31 points and goes 18 from 19 from the free throw line.
Wow. He's really good at free throws.
Yeah, well, when you get given to you all the time, you should hit them.
19 free throw attempts, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so crazy how he gets that many free throws. I mean, literally half of his points were free throws.
Yeah.
And you've got a guy like Jokic. Oh, my God, I'm saying everybody's name tonight. You've got a guy like Jokic who every game looks like he got in a fight with like a small wildcat on his arms and bleeding.
See that? Isn't that nuts? We've never talked about everywhere. That, dude. Yeah. He gets scratches all over his arm.
Yeah, and how does Embiid get fucking 19 free throws?
Yep.
Makes no sense.
And Jokic only gets to the line like 8 or 9 times.
Yeah, and he's still putting up triple-doubles, averaging 26 points.
MVP.
10 rebounds and 12, 13 assists, whatever it is right now. It's insane. Embiid also grabbed 14 rebounds in that game. Philly had won 9 of their last 10 prior to that game, and their other loss was a 21-point lead that they blew to Orlando last Monday. So when they lose big to bad teams. So, yeah, that's your MVP right there.
Yep.
As far as ESPN's concerned.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like he'll get all the individual stats in the world, but when it comes to team wins, just middle of the pack.
We'll see where they sit in the standings at the end of the year. They play the Celtics on Thursday, which we talked about just a second ago. In 4th place, you have the Cavaliers at 34-22. 5th place, you've got Brooklyn sitting at 32-21, and in 6th place, you've got Miami at 29-25. And another thing I thought was pretty crazy. Did you know Spoelstra is the 3rd longest tenured coach ahead of Michael Malone?
Is that nuts?
It is wild.
Yeah, they've talked about it before, Ben, because he was coaching the Miami Heat back when LeBron was there.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? He was like a video guy. He went from like being a video guy to the head coach. And has been coaching now.
You mean like a commentator? Or
no, he like cut up video clips. Like he was like a video guy for Miami.
That's like really like Pat Riley.
Yeah, exactly. Like in winning time.
That's fucking nuts.
Where he's like
just like part of the show, and then
all of a sudden he's the guy.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. Yeah,
pretty
I never
wild.
knew that.
But let's get into the Western Conference because in 1st place we have the Denver Nuggets. Take a look at that shirt right there. That's the reason why we're sitting in 1st.
MVP.
Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
They did, though I don't have much good to say about what happened, though, because they did take a scheduled loss, like we talked about earlier, to the T-Wolves. It was the first half of a home-and-home against the T-Wolves, but it was the second night of a back-to-back where, like we talked about, the Nuggets were supposed to come in and play 22 hours after the tip-off the night before. They basically sat everybody. We kind of talked about it a little bit. MPJ was the only available starter. He did score 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 for 10 from 3. Christian Brown, though, was kind of the low-key highlight as it's getting a chance to see a guy who we can see developing into a pretty good role player. He's probably going to be a second,
When Bones gets traded, I think he's going to get a lot more
if he does.
Time. And we're down to the wire.
We're getting down to the wire.
How many days? Yep, I was going to say, we're getting close.
We've got 2 days. So, they were without everybody. MPJ did pretty good. But like I said, Christian Brown was the highlight. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 for 2 from 3. It's just nice to see these young guys get a chance to do some stuff. So.
Yeah, I think Malone basically gave a middle finger to the league and said, all right, you want to schedule this game? I'm not going to start anyway.
And his post-game comments just reiterated that fact.
Seriously.
Just basically like, I get they have a hard job to schedule this stuff, but this is ridiculous. And he brought it up, and I tried to find it earlier. I think it was a game. I think it might have been the Knicks or somebody, but they played the night before, and they moved the start time of the Nuggets to 8 o'clock. It was supposed to be 7 or something or 6, and they moved it to give the team more time because they played the night before, and it was only 24 hours. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They need to figure this shit out, especially when it's the flyover mid-market teams are the ones getting screwed for New York teams and shit like that, where they get to have a little bit of a break where the mid-market teams don't. So
no, exactly.
Sitting in 2nd place, we have the Memphis Grizzlies at 32-21. The Raptors beat the Grizzlies 106-103 as Morant sits out due to right wrist soreness. Siakam for the Raptors scored 19 points and hit a pair of free throws with 9 seconds left as they rally from a 15-point deficit. Jaren Jackson, our defensive player of the year.
Yeah, still holding that title.
Yeah, he missed a 3 with 5.2 left to tie the game. He had 18 points and 4 more blocks, dude. This guy's blocking everything in the gym.
Swatting stuff.
Sir swats a lot. The Grizz were also without Steven Adams with a knee and Dylan Brooks, who was serving his 1-game suspension for hitting Donovan Mitchell in the nuts.
The Grizzlies just keep getting in fights, man.
Yeah, dude, seriously, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
They're fighting everybody. They take on the Bulls tonight in 3rd place. Sacramento has rolled into 3rd place, sitting at 30-23.
Dude,
the sleeper team, man.
Last night they won, and they put up 140 points.
140 points. Keegan Murray, the 4th overall pick from last year's draft, hit 8 threes last night.
That dude was good last year in college, so he just keeps going.
Yeah, he set a rookie record for the Sacramento Kings with those 8 threes. What else did he do? Oh, he also had a career high 30 points. So, yeah. I mean, it's a second year, but, 30 points, that's pretty damn good.
The Grizzlies are up 10 points on the Bulls right now at halftime, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. They're still pretty far behind the Nuggets. So, 5 games, and we got 1 on them.
Yep.
So, good luck, Grizzlies. How's that not worrying about the West going?
Exactly. Should eat your words.
Yeah. The Sack Snaps a 2-game skid with the win on Monday night. The Kings as a whole had 21 3-pointers in that game. Like you said, 140 points. You got to hit a lot of threes, or you're just running up and down the court all game.
Man, it's so cool too because as much as I'm worried about it, I'm like a 16-year drought from the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're due.
They are due.
Yeah,
I just hope we don't have to play them because they're that type of team that defense is scary.
That's just it, man. Their defense is good. I really don't. I hope we don't. If we're ranked first, then or we got the number 1 seed.
We wouldn't have to worry about them. But Malik Monk added another 20 points, and Sabonis added 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists. De'Aaron Fox came back, his first game back after having his child, missed 2 games, 16 points and 8 assists. And the Kings take on the Rockets again Thursday night. They had a home and home against the Rockets. Well, the old home and home.
Damn, well, they're lucky because the Rockets have lost like 40 games this year. Yeah. Dude, they're
terrible. Yeah.
So,
imagine being a Rockets fan.
Yeah, they
blasting off to
just
nowhere.
Being a Houston fan. I mean, all you got's baseball.
Basically,
so that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they'll take that. I think the Kings will get that win too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. In 4th place, you have the Clippers at 31 and 26. In 5th place, Dallas sitting at 29 and 26. We'll see if they rise or fall with the addition of Kyrie.
Pretty interested in that.
Yeah, and in 6th place, you have Phoenix sitting at a perfect 500, 26 and 26. And
they're beating the Nets right now by 11 points.
Okay, so
yep.
Yeah, that's going to wrap up the NBA Fast Break for us. We're going to let Chad talk for a little bit about the UFC, the UFC.
Well, hold on. I got a couple of NBA
Oh, you got some
points,
things
man.
still? Okay, I'm sorry.
Shit, dude. Well, talking about the Bucks, man, with that 8 straight. Giannis, not Giannis.
Giannis?
Yeah, Giannis. I just wanted to mention a play that needs to be brought up because when I went through and watched these highlights, this guy's basketball IQ, that's why he always needs to be at least in the top 5 in MVP talks. So he takes a fast break, which was in the first 3 minutes of the game, and goes down and can't quite get the dunk or layup with the angle when the defender is really guarding him. And so what he does is just like a playground move, like what I talked about with Kyrie, where he just throws it up off the backboard and passes it to himself and then dunks it.
Yeah, I missed that. That's pretty rad.
That's pretty cool. And that's just what I'm talking about is like these guys, like he's from Greece, like we think 20 years ago, that's like, New York playground stuff. NBA has evolved so much where these guys' basketball IQ has surpassed what we're, used to. And the NBA and then America has to catch up really. Because I just thought that was really fascinating where this guy, just for 2 points, just realized, okay, I don't have the right angle. Let me pass it to myself. Boom. Yeah. And now they've won 8 straight. I mean, Giannis is playing great ball right now. He's really trying to fight for that MVP again. He's already got 2 of them.
Yeah. We'll see who three-peats. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jokic, though.
It's going to be Jokic.
Do you have anything else before I cut you
I do.
up?
I got a couple more. It's looking like Bones Highland, like I mentioned before, will be traded. It doesn't look like he's going to get much playing time tonight. I think the Nuggets are trying to keep him healthy for what trade value they can get for him. I'm excited for when it does happen. I have spoken to Chris a lot about how I like Bones. He kind of does look a lot like those and-one street ball type players, but those guys are notorious for not playing defense.
Yeah.
And in the NBA, you got to play defense.
Yeah, and I think the Nuggets are running into a little bit of the fact that they value him a little bit higher than everybody else is right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're not getting
what they want
in return for him.
He is getting notoriety. He did get selected to the All-Star Rising Stars game as a sophomore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But, have you seen much of this beef with his friends and Jamal Murray?
No.
Really?
No, I haven't seen anything about that.
So when Jamal Murray came out and said, I didn't realize Murray isn't start tonight either.
There they are sitting next to each other, so there's obviously not much of a beef.
Yeah, they must be cool then. Okay, well then scratch what I was about to say.
Oh no, talk about it because it's obviously something.
Well, it was mainly Bones' friends. When Murray in a press conference said just something about how, like, you know, when you complain about not getting the playing time, when you don't put in the work and stuff like that, a bunch of Bones' friends replied on Twitter and just, you know, clapped back at him. But Murray was like, damn, y'all jump to conclusions faster than women. Yeah. And a lot of people gave Murray shit like, dude, that's kind of chauvinistic and whatever.
You
but
can't
it's
really
like,
say that nowadays.
Kind of funny.
You get canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I was waiting to see some of the blowback from those
Murray
comments.
played it right because he didn't say anything specific, but he did kind of set those guys up to kind of just, you know, get all ruffled.
Everybody thought it was about Bones. So.
It's definitely about Bones because of... There we go. Michael Porter Jr.
That's his second 3 in a row.
Yep, that's awesome. We need him to keep hitting those threes. Dude, he never takes 2-point shots.
No, he doesn't. Well, occasionally you'll see him get a floater in here and there, but he very rarely rebounds, and he just stands around the perimeter.
He really... Oh man, we're looking good tonight. Duncan. I got a good feeling. About tonight.
Gordon's got new braids, too.
Yep, that's always a good sign.
Jokic is yelling. He's pissed. He's like, we ain't got.
He's got that red nose going on.
He's like, let's show these guys how we play when we're at full strength.
Seriously. The last thing though, trade deadline buzz really doesn't make much sense now that we've heard the news that the Nets aren't interested in trading Durant, but the Nets are interested in trying to get Pascal Siakam from the Raptors. And the Suns are in hot pursuit of Durant. They really
they want him,
Kevin
but
Durant.
I don't think they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I just don't think the Nets are willing to give him up because they realize he's like a Stephen Curry. He's like a Jokic. You just don't get rid of that foundational piece.
The freakish talent.
Yeah. So that's all I got. But I could see Pascal Siakam maybe get traded.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of guys I think might move or they might not. It's always...
Yeah.
I feel like when the trade deadline rolls around, it's either going to be a bunch of guys or no guys. It's either one or the other.
Probably just a couple. I think KYRIE might just be the only blockbuster.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you started the UFC. I'm going to go pee real quick.
Well, we're going to take a break.
Oh, you got to take a break. Or we're going to take a break. We both have to pee. We're going to take a break. And we are back from an impromptu break where we both actually had to pee for once. So.
And get a refill.
Yeah, refill and a pee. You expel and refill. That's what we just did.
And look at that. When we come back, like magic, the Nuggets are up 49-19 on the Timberwolves.
Yeah, we literally left, and we just saw MPJ sink a 3 to put it 23-16. It is now 49-19.
Dude,
and
what
the
happened
first quarter is just
left?
ending, and Jeff Green almost. Well, I think he just got. Oh, he got a charge.
Definitely a charge, though. But
yeah, I don't know.
30 points, putting up 50 points in the first quarter. Holy shit, man!
Yeah. That's like that time Merrill took me to go see a Nuggets game, and it was Golden State versus the Nuggets. And I think Golden State scored like 50 in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think I remember that game, actually.
It's like a record.
They hit like a record 3-pointers.
Like, I can't even be mad anymore.
Yeah.
This is just a beatdown like I've never seen before.
Crazy. But that's why we love the Nuggets. When they do start their starters, they will kill people.
They will kill.
All right, Chris, before we get into the UFC, you want to... Oh, nice. Throwing me a curveball. You know what we call this? Like a little left hook in the UFC
Oh, the left
segment.
hook.
Boom.
The uppercut. Where is yours? I can't get to it.
Right here. That's what we got to start naming these shots is like whatever
Yeah, whatever we're talking
like,
about. Here comes the uppercut. I'm going to throw Chad a little bit of an uppercut right now.
It's going to hit me.
See if he can dodge, duck, and weave this one. I bet he can.
This week, we have a pay-per-view that I've been looking forward to ever since the fight was even rumored. We have UFC 284, the main event, Alexander Volkanovski against Islam Makhachev. This is a fight with Makhachev being the lightweight champion. Volkanovski was the featherweight champion. He vacated the title to jump up and take this fight. So unfortunately, he won't be the double champ. I'm not sure the logistics of that.
Stupid you have to vacate stuff.
Yeah.
You should just be able to hold on to it.
I don't think he will, but I think when he goes back down to featherweight, he'll obviously be able to get another title shot immediately. But, yeah, This is more than anything a fight for the pound-for-pound title. So for casual fans out there that aren't aware, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. The left hook right through the way. Which one did you pull? Monkey shoulder or proper?
It's proper 12.
Proper number 12. Perfect.
Proper
Conor
12.
McGregor,
this one's for you,
I am
going
to get in some Conor McGregor news.
You're coming back.
Oh,
I got to push
dying.
my phone that's dying. Hold on a second.
Cheers.
We'll take the shot and then hold on. I mean, you can talk, but people have to hold on and see me for a second.
I think they'll live. All right. I am really interested in this fight because it's for the pound-for-pound title. For casual fans out there that aren't aware, there's a ranking system that comes down to it. You might have heard it when it comes to boxing and stuff. They factor all weight classes when it comes to the pound-for-pound title. That is, the formula for that basically is like the number of fighters that you've beaten, the win streak that you're on, how well you have beaten those fighters, and Volkanovski, which was the featherweight title, which I believe is 135. I could be wrong. Let me just check that real quick. Yeah. So that's at 135. I mean, that's just almost half of a human of what I am. It's crazy.
we're thicker dudes.
We're a little bit.
Yeah.
So Volkanovski, who's on a 22-fight win streak, is going up against Islam Makhachev. And he is that Dagestani fighter that I said the last time when I previewed a big fight that I said he's going up against Oliveira, who Oliveira was just killing people going through. He had the most submissions in UFC history. And those Dagestani fighters, you just don't want to bet against them. And so that's why I always put my money on them. That's why I believe in them, because they are a different breed.
They really are.
Now he's going up against a guy that used to be in a rugby league. He's an Aussie. Those Australian fighters are also a different breed. That's why this fight is so interesting to me, because even though Volkanovski is going up against someone else, and he's probably 8 inches shorter than Islam Makhachev. The reach advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics right now, but I'd say it's got to be close to 8 or 10 inches right now. I mean, it's a super fascinating fight because Volkanovski, when it comes to toughness, when it comes to grappling skills, he definitely matches Makhachev. But when it comes to wrestling, the Sambo, casual fans out there that aren't aware, when it comes to this side of the world, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, when it comes to MMA, that's the ground game specialty. On the Russian side of the world, when it comes to that side, it's a mixed martial arts. It's called Sambo, which is a mix of wrestling and striking, and they take it serious. And that's why in this fight, once again, I'll take Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that video earlier today of Volkanovski versus Ortega, where Ortega basically had him in a rear naked choke. Well, no, it wasn't rear naked.
It was a guillotine.
Guillotine, yeah.
Yep.
And everybody's like, well, he's going to be done pretty soon. And he ends up fighting through it.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. I remember watching that fight live at Jay's house, a good buddy of mine, and we were in disbelief because it looked like Volkanovski's head was going to pop off.
Well, and he's like kicking his legs, and then at one point his leg stopped, and I was like, oh, wait, he just passed out.
Yep.
And then, nope, all of a sudden, Ortega lets go, and it's like, holy shit.
It's unbelievable. And Ortega is a black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie black belt when it comes to Jiu-Jitsu. And so that means it takes a lot to earn the black belt. And he got Volkanovski in a guillotine, and Volkanovski's head just went purple. It looked like he was about to choke out. And it goes to show the toughness in this. And and this is why I always recommend fans to watch the UFC Countdown, because in one of the last main events for Volkanovski, they show how down there in Australia, where you've got just a plethora of sharks swimming around, this dude just takes pleasure.
And all the deadly snakes, don't forget that.
Everything. Spiders. He lives in fucking Australia, so he's already
down under, mate.
Coming out of the womb.
Good day, mate.
He, as just a hobby, swims around with sharks.
Yeah.
So this guy's nerves aren't easy to shake.
Nerves of steel.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, it's just, this to me is straight up blood sport, because it is the best of the best. It's a super fight, because It's one guy that's a champion of the featherweight, and then it's another guy that's a champion of the lightweight. You got a guy that's fighting out of Dagestan, who we normally don't like to bring religion and politics into this, but this really calls for it at this time. I listened to a podcast recently with Bilal Muhammad, who at the I think welterweight division he's a killer. He's number 3 ranked, and I say this because when it comes to these Muslim fighters, they have a way different discipline, and that's why they have a much more success than others. And that's why I bring this into it, because of Makhachev. These Dagestani fighters, they're all Muslim, and they are devout, very devout Muslim. And the only reason I bring this up is because
Joshua Sachs.
No, I'm losing it. Why?
No. Well, we'll just finish what you're saying, and I'll talk about why I'm going to talk about Joshua Sachs.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, yeah, they just, when other fighters, when they train in Vegas, or when they, maybe have a good week or something like that, they might go celebrate, and they'll go have a drink, or they might go having some ribs, whatever it might be. They celebrate.
Yeah.
They have a big crew, or they party. With these Dagestani fighters and a lot of these guys, and that's why I don't specify. So Dagestan, if nobody knows, is like a province of Russia. It's basically like what Puerto Rico is to America.
Yeah.
Okay? And so they are Russian, but they are more Dagestan than I would say Russian.
Yeah.
And they're all Muslims, because most of the time in Russia they're Christian. And
it's like a blurred line between Middle East and Russia, basically.
Very much so. Yeah, it's a good comparison. And so when it comes to that bleeds into their discipline for training. They don't go out and party. They don't drink. Yeah. And when I brought up Bilal Muhammad when he was on this podcast, it was hilarious because he wouldn't use the word fuck, because we will use that word. I enjoy using it. But this guy kept saying, "What the fudge?
All that out.
Oh, damn.
Like
they fudging. Like, who? What? Who does this? But it's against
like Philip
religion.
Rivers.
Exactly.
Dadgummit.
Yeah. Darn it. Nobody does
Son
that.
of a gun.
But for people that, to me, are so devout in their faith and they are disciplined in that, that's scary when it comes into your training, because they don't afterwards go out and like, let's go celebrate. Let's go have steak and some wine. Let's, it's Friday night. I finished a hard week of training. Let's go party. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Their training and their religion are the two parts of their life, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring up Joshua Sachs, because the only other time I've been I guess had my eyes open to that situation was anytime we had a manager back at Tokyo Joe's, Joshua Sachs. We love you, buddy. Always will. You're one of those people.
Good dude.
One of those people who, much like Chad from Tokyo Joe's, I'll always be buddies with. But he grew up he was on the outside of being an Orthodox Jewish person, but knew all about it.
Yeah.
And we would go drink at a pub on Penn on our breaks or after work or whatever. And I would get drunk and start asking Josh about crazy Jewish, just the stuff they have to go through, all the rules and you can't shave your face with a straight blade, all this shit.
On Sabbath, I don't think you can use electricity.
Yeah, you have to there's all these workarounds too. You have to leave your oven on Thursday night so you could use it on Friday, because you're not allowed to actually turn anything on. And it's shit like that where you're like, man, could you imagine where you're letting something, we obviously are not the most religious people. I mean, we probably believe in some sort of higher power. We're not going to get into that, but I mean, we obviously don't go to any sort of organized religion where it controls your whole life. And that's where Muslim and Judaism really falls into, is because every aspect of your life has to be governed by it. How you eat, how you sleep, how you pray, it all has to be governed by it.
Life revolves
it's
around.
just it's crazy to and when someone's that dedicated, you have to be worried about it.
You do. And that's why this podcast was so interesting that I listened to with Bilal Muhammad, because when he trained with these Dagestani fighters for 6 months, he did, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's who I've mentioned before, one of my favorite fighters of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov. He was the coach, and if you were like on your phone a lot throughout the night and you were just kind of being lazy, he'd take your phone away.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get it for like 2 days. And you know, when you want to be the best in the world, that kind of leads into that type of Michael Jordan type of mentality where it's like you could think like that's being a dick, but if you want to take this serious, that's what it's going to take.
Win, if you want to piss excellence when you wake up in the morning.
I wake up and I piss excellence. That's what, if you want to be Ricky Bobby, that's what it's going to take. And so, I mean, that's basically why I have Islam picked. I mean, and it's crazy because I don't disrespect Alexander Volkanovski at all because he's beaten one of my other favorite fighters, Max Holloway. Max Holloway is amazing. Probably one of the best
boxers. He's had a few of the best fights in UFC history.
Max has?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Like knockdown, drag out. Yeah. Like legit, like street fights in a cage.
Straight up one of the best boxers in the league where his striking is next level. And, you know, Volkanovski, no doubt, twice has just beaten him and there's no contest in it. Like he really is the best featherweight. And that's why I think feel like he can clean out that division and then move up to lightweight. And it's a big challenge for him because he is much shorter than Islam. Both of them have strong ground game.
I was going to pull it up. I mean, and who knows how accurate these are. I'm assuming with fights, they're probably pretty accurate. He's got 4 inches.
Yeah.
Makhachev has 4 inches on Volkanovski. Makhachev is 5'10". Volkanovski is 5'6". Makhachev has 10 pounds on him and has 1 inch less reach than Volkanovski. Volkanovski 71 inches. Makhachev 70. So
that is really weird.
Yeah,
you would think with the height advantage. I don't know how that.
Imagine being like a fighter and having to fight Kevin Durant, where his reach, his arms are literally as long as his fucking legs.
Yep.
So yeah, people are built weird.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's why I want to hype this up a lot. Since we've started this podcast, I've just tried to preview these and give them a little brief kind of thing. But I really want to kind of do a little more of a deep dive into this because this is a real super fight where you got one champion of the featherweight going up against the other champion in lightweight. And these guys really are like the best of the best. I mean, Volkanovski, like I said, 22 fight win streak. If that's not a record, I know that's breaching on a record in the UFC. And then you got a guy like Makhachev that's, you know, trained under the best. He was training with Khabib like his whole life. I believe he was like 17 or if not younger, like 15 when he started training with Khabib.
And he's basically like taking over Khabib now. Yep. Since Khabib's like in his corner constantly. He is his coach.
Well, not anymore. Khabib
He's not?
Khabib retired from coaching and
I knew he retired from fighting. I didn't know he retired from coaching.
Yeah, it was about couple months ago he retired from coaching. I believe he just wants to spend more time with family, and that's something I really respect a lot from these Dagestani fighters is they don't get all hooped up. They're not like Conor McGregor where they want to make millions of dollars and everybody does.
He reached the pinnacle and that's it.
They really believe just in the pure essence of MMA, and I really respect that a lot. And that's why I can't stand it. I hear so much like, oh, they're boring fighters, they just ground and pound. That's fighting. That's MMA. If you can't stop them from taking you down, well, then you're not the better fighter.
Punch him in the face and make it stop.
Exactly. That's all you got to do. And that's why Khabib, whenever he fought Conor, just made him look like a bitch. So, you know, it's fantastic.
Speaking of which, Conor's coming back.
He is. That's a good break. But I was going to cover the next fight. But
cover the next fight, but we'll touch
I
on
do.
That.
That's fine. I wanted to, in this UFC segment, bring this up. News came out last Saturday. I texted you right after it happened.
He's back.
Yep, proper number 12, the company that he sold.
For a lot of money.
Yeah, lots of money. He will be coaching the next season of Ultimate Fighter against Michael Chandler.
Second time he's done that now.
Yep.
First time was with, it wasn't Gaethje, was it?
No.
Oh, fuck, who was
it? No, it was supposed to be against Uriah Faber. Oh, that's why.
Uriah Faber, yeah.
It was a really interesting thing because it was the Uriah Faber was, and actually he just got inducted to the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But an injury or something happened and Uriah had to back out, and that's when Nate Diaz stepped in. Yeah. And then Nate Diaz beat him.
Yeah.
So
I still remember that fight with Uriah Faber where he got leg kicked to death.
Yeah. Uriah really had his best years in WBC.
Yeah,
that's really
well. That's the thing. Much like we were talking about with like all these basketball and baseball players. A lot of these guys, by the time they get to the UFC, have a shitload of fights under their belt already.
Big time, man.
Already.
Yeah. Well, that's why the UFC is the pinnacle of it
Yeah.
because like if you get there, like in these other organizations, you've already built up a resume,
and you have a chance to make $15,000 fight.
Yep, not too much. Well, like Francis Ngannou, like he was offered
He
600.
told him, "Fuck you."
I respect Francis Ngannou so much. For any of you guys that are talking shit on him, look up the details. Look at how much he
knows how much he's making them, and he said, "I'm not doing it for anything less than what you're making."
I respect him wholeheartedly. I do, and that's why like the NFL, just like the NFL, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love it because of the sport, because of the pure essence of gladiatorism.
Yeah.
If you can make that into a noun. But when it comes to
we will on this show.
Business side of it,
Yeah.
I disagree with it. Just so much so. They need to be paid. But
I mean, the NFL's paid pretty well, but yeah, those fighters who are putting their brains on the line every fucking fight, training for free, basically.
When I bring up the NFL, I mainly just disagree with their, a few, good 10 years back when they denied all of the concussions and all that.
Yeah, they
shit.
need to be better about those guys who aren't playing anymore.
And they need to embrace the mushrooms, man. I mean, Jake Plummer has showed evidence, and there's a lot of other evidence out there where psilocybin has been proven to help the CTE. That way these guys don't run to the practice facility and kill themselves.
Well, it's just like I say, a lot of these guys that played football are lucky to make it past 55. So, but let's.
Just real quick, I want to just hit on this real quick. He is going to be fighting Michael Chandler, and that should be a super entertaining fight. Michael Chandler, this dude was a king in Bellator. He came to the UFC and got automatically, catapulted to title fights. And whether he did lose, but he did lose in a deciding fashion. He had a great fight with Justin Gaethje, a battle, Denver Pride, but. It's just, I think this, to me, is the best fight to make. I don't know if it's at 170 or 155. It's got to be at 170 because Conor is jacked right now.
That's what I was trying to tell you. When you're like, oh, did you see Conor's coming back? Like what, like a heavyweight?
Yeah.
What's he fighting at now, dude?
He's built like the Hulk right now. Yeah. I don't know how he's going to get past USADA. I mean, he's already admitted basically to using steroids, so he's got to try to piss clean.
Well, you just got to stop.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Anyways, what's the next fight you're going to break down?
The next fight, and it's unfortunate. The other co-main event was Robert Whittaker against Paulo Costa, but that did get canceled because of
that would have been a good fight.
That would have been
Those are
really
two
good.
guys that were like up and comers there for a little bit. Both of them were like rising stars until they lost.
Robert Whittaker, he did hold the title for a little bit.
The Australian, the Australian guy,
Paulo
right?
Costa looks like he's a Mexican Avenger or something.
Yeah, the guy's
Brazilian.
He's
a
a beautiful human being.
He is beautiful, cut like out of stone. I don't know how he passes his USADA test.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Nobody
really
knows
unfortunate.
how
That
works.
would have been a great main event, but unfortunately that got canceled. So now we got Josh Emmett versus Yair.
Why did it get canceled real quick? Someone get hurt?
I need to.
Let's not worry about it. Move on.
I don't know.
We have to. We do a lot of prep.
It's really really is like the reason why I didn't look into that is because it is a lot like hockey, to where there's a lot of
you don't know
undisclosed.
Yeah,
you
something
never really
happened.
know.
It's like hockey, upper body, lower body. Those are the only two injuries you have.
He got in a bar fight,
you never know.
So we don't want to disclose that.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. But the co-main event really is pretty good. And I will say, if you guys decide to watch this fight card, which I definitely would recommend, anytime
through any means necessary.
Yeah, I won't give it out because I don't want to get shut down. But any means
they can't stop us.
Your phone's almost dead. We're almost dead. Okay. We're almost done. All right. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. We have a Mexican fighter versus American here.
Viva la Mexico!
That's right. You know who I'm partial to.
Yeah.
Yair. Unfortunately, when it comes to my analysis and my expertise pick,
you got to pick against the bloodline.
I'm going to pick Josh Emmett because this dude is a scrapper.
Yeah.
He is tough as nails. This guy, if like I was mentioning earlier, if you got ESPN Plus, they put fights up where these guys recently fought. Josh Emmett went to war with Calvin Kattar last summer. And I mean, they went 5 rounds. It was a fight night, just straight 5 rounds of these guys slugging it out. Back and forth. Josh Emmett at the end of it had a mouse under his eye, where his eye was completely shut. Just
cut me, Mick.
Just wouldn't quit. I mean, it's unbelievable. Josh Emmett and the thing of it is, he fights out of Alpha Male, who is owned by Uriah Faber, who we just mentioned. There's a lot of champions that's come out of there. He's got a great coach, a great gym. It's really tough to see. And the thing of it is Yair is a striking specialist who won the Ultimate Fighter back in 2014, I believe it was. Trains out of a gym where Julio Cesar Chavez once, trained at.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys aren't
know
aware
anything about,
he is a boxing legend.
Yeah. The boxing legend in Mexico.
Out of Mexico.
His son, not so much.
Not so good.
Chavez Jr., not so much.
Yeah, and you can't always follow in your footsteps.
Julio Cesar Chavez?
Yeah.
Tomare.
But, I mean, Yair is a boxing and more of a striking specialist because he's a super exciting fighter who throws a large mix of flying knees, spinning elbows. You never know what he's going to come at you, whether it's like high kicks. He's very much a striking specialist. The thing of it is it's hard to knock out Josh Emmett. This guy, he really is a pit bull.
Keeps coming
in the octagon.
Yeah.
He just keeps coming. Doesn't matter how hard you hit him. I think the only way, and this will be my prediction in it, I do pick Josh Emmett to win. I hope. This is how I always say these UFC things. I pick, but I hope. I pick Josh Emmett to win, but I hope Yair wins.
Submission?
I think it'll probably be either knockout or TKO or just decision. I think it'll
either way,
because it's co-main event. It'll be 3 rounds. So
are you saying co-to main event?
Co-main event.
Oh, I feel like you're throwing an extra syllable in there. Co-to main event.
So, dude, I'm really starting to feel it. I'm feeling good.
Dude, it's because you're those mics.
We're having a good time.
Mics, bro. Speaking of which, Mike's Harder. Get at us.
Yep. Sponsor us. Send us like a 12-pack.
Send us a case.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about you guys.
I love it. I'm all about it.
The only way I see Yair winning this game is
Fuck you, Go Bears.
I'm watching the Nuggets, and that's why
it's your fault COVID happened.
Just kidding. Well put, dude. Well put. Fuck Rudy Gobert, dude. They're losing by nearly 30 points right now. This is
71 to 42. We've got 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second.
About
they might
putting
score
this game
160.
Yeah. I was really nervous about putting this game
on. Malone's
mad.
For what? You're up 30, dude.
Nuggets. Well, okay.
That's not on them. That's why they didn't call that out on Nas Reed.
Oh, that is.
Speaking of which, I hope he's a Nugget soon.
I do, man. I really, I think he'd be a good addition.
Yeah. Anyways, back to what we were saying.
Just last thing. I really think the other. I got 2 things here.
You can have one.
I need 2. I need 2, Chris. It was in Denver. Okay. The last time Yair had a huge knockout, it was UFC's 25th anniversary. So if you guys don't know, the very first event that the UFC ever hosted was in Denver, Colorado. UFC won. Well, their 25th anniversary, they hosted it here in Denver, and it was supposed to be Korean Zombie against somebody, but that guy had to back out. So Yair Rodriguez stepped up. And
Jokic is really good at basketball.
I fucking love it, dude. I love it.
Jokic is look at his arms again, though. They're fucking bleeding all over.
Scratched up because people are mad.
Yeah. Look at that, dude. Look at his arm.
They are all scratched up. I've seen it.
Watch this, though. Watch this.
Let's see. Oh, right there.
Nobody knows what's even happening.
Him and Gordon, it's deadly. Him and Gordon, it's past.
Gordon just knows I'm going to go and I'm going to get right below the basket. Anyways, back to the UFC. Okay. We got to get through this. 25
years. They hosted it here in Denver for the 25th anniversary. It was Yair Rodriguez versus Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie was just dominating the fight the whole time. And one of the most epic finishes of all time with 1 second left. Literally 1 second. All you had to do was last 1 more second. But Yair Rodriguez, like I said, he's a striker that throws very unorthodox strikes. Throws an up elbow. for you guys listening, if you're not watching the YouTube, an up elbow is basically where a guy kind of dives in but ducks, but you just kind of throw your elbow up like that.
Well,
like, boom, boom. And he does it to the Korean Zombie, and he flatlines him.
Yeah, dude just
as soon as he hit that, because your elbow's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You ever hit your elbow on like a funny bone on something?
It's the worst.
It fucking hurts.
Yeah.
You hit that to somebody, they're out. They're fucking out. And he hit it on the Korean Zombie. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because it's hard as fuck. But he hit it, and he flatlined him, and that guy caved in like he just went to sleep. And that's why Yair Rodriguez is a striking assassin.
Nicola's 1 rebound away from a triple-double.
Already? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude.
Not even.
So you guys aren't aware, on the break, I put a whole whopping, you guys won't believe it, I broke the bank for this. I put $9 on Jokic.
Oh, wait, here we go.
To get 13 rebounds. Oh, there's another assist.
I don't think
maybe?
it's an assist. No, that's
there's,
fine.
Dude, easy
points.
money. 79 points, maybe at half. We're definitely going to get over 80. This is
we're at 77.
Awesome.
And his arm's still purple. They're purple. Anyways,
Okay,
go back to it.
Just to finish up the UFC, the only way Yair wins this is maybe by some type of elbow to Josh Emmett, because this guy's tough as nails.
That's it. That's a triple-double.
What was that, a rebound?
That's a rebound. That's a triple-double. Triple-double, 33 seconds to go in the first half.
I'm definitely going to hit that points bet.
Unless he doesn't play the second half.
No, they're definitely going to keep playing him a little bit.
That's it. I'm pretty sure all he needed was a rebound. That's a rebound right there. And a
foul.
and
he got fouled. Right in the fucking face, dude.
He punched him. You son of a bitch.
Was that Anthony Edwards? That dude's fucking...
I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if they say what he's got real quick, but then we'll move on.
I'm telling you, once you get the red nose from Jokic, the Rudolph, he'll lead the way.
Dude, look at his arms. He's bleeding.
I know. Every game.
He's bleeding.
They grow out their nails to fucking... They're winning by 30 points right now. Holy... This is the difference. Okay, for guys out there that don't know, they played the T-Wolves 2 nights ago.
First half triple-double in the NBA since 96 to 97.
That's fucking nuts, dude. We got to see this
live
on the
podcast.
Watched
it.
That's awesome.
You all got to watch it, even though you're not watching it. It's in the future.
But no, we're doing the play-by-play. We're doing the play-by-play.
That's right.
It's all right. They're getting good play-by-play.
That's right.
We'll be doing Monday Night Football before long. It's all
exactly.
Right.
It'll be Monday Night Football in no time.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
Dude, you're talking a triple-double in half a game.
That's nuts, man. And what are they, 17-0 now?
They're 18-0.
18-0 when
you're about to be 19. Look at Malone still pissed, up 30.
Well, that's why he's going to be the coach for the All-Star team.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
All right,
well, that's,
you're right.
That's all I got for UFC. All I'm just going to say is for Yair to win, he's going to have to throw a spinning back elbow to Josh Emmett.
Okay. Well, let's get into... I think we might be on our longest episode ever. I'm not entirely sure yet.
I don't think so.
It's possible we aren't. Let's get into the Rec Center, Chad. What is your Rec Center recommendation for this week?
Well, my Rec Center is something that I know is kind of popular right now, but
it's trending, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I had to recommend it because I'm just enamored by the show. It's fantastic so far. It's on HBO Max.
So you got to pay for it.
Last of Us with Pedro Pascal and
from The Mandalorian.
From The Mandalorian, also Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's done a lot of good things.
Yeah.
With also Bella Ramsey playing Ellie. You played the video game. I did not play the video game. I don't really play video games. But to me, so it's a show based on, it's a dystopian kind of set in apocalypse where a virus has come through and wiped out a lot of humanity. But it's not like a regular zombie, like...
It's like a more realistic way of a zombie happening. Because these things really do exist.
Because one reason why it really captured my attention is because I'm a huge fan of Paul Stamets, which is a mycologist that is just spoken about mushrooms to length, all different kinds of mushrooms, the good benefits, psychedelic or not.
I think there's a documentary out with him, isn't there?
Well, there's a lot, There's
Besides the point,
Paul Stamets is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just check out anything with him. Anyway, cordyceps mushrooms are fucking nuts. They are alien. Where it is a real thing where in nature They will infect carpenter ants, leafcutter ants, and a few different type of ants, and a few different type of insects. And the spores and fungus, molecular version, will infect them, get into their brain, and make them do what they want.
Yeah, they basically infiltrate them, and especially like in the carpenter ants.
Carpenter ants too. Thank you.
Yeah, you did actually. I stole that from you. But the carpenter ants, like, this is the main thing I've seen is they'll infect them, and then they basically mind control them to take them to the best spot that fungus grows, and then what happens is by the time they get there, once these fungus take over the ant, they're dead. Yeah. It's a zombie at that point.
It is a zombie.
And they're controlling it.
It's a living zombie,
too. They
though.
take it to the best point for fungus to grow, and then they do like a death grip on like whatever it is, if it's a stick or if it's a piece of a plant, and then they die in this death grip. They death grip, and then they starve to death for however long it takes for them to actually die completely. And then once they die completely, like a fucking spore pops up out of their head.
Like a little mushroom.
Yeah, a little mushroom pops up out of their head, and the little ball at the top explodes and releases more of the cordyceps.
And what's nuts is ants are smart enough to where they've realized this is bad news. And when they see an ant that's been infected, they will. There's video evidence of this where they'll carry off the ant and take it out of the colony.
Yeah, and let it
so
die
it doesn't
away.
affect anybody else. That's how serious this is. Well, this series on HBO is based on the fictional hypothesis that the Earth gets warm enough, which is actually happening right now, where the Earth continues to warm up, and the cordyceps mushroom can thrive and eventually live in humans. Because at 94 degrees, I don't think it can thrive, but at a certain temperature, it can. In the series, it's like I said, based on a video game where the temperature reaches a height where it can live in humans, infects humans, and wipes out most of the population, and a couple of people have to try to survive.
Yeah.
And it's just written so well. Pedro Pascal, I mean, Mandalorian, what else needs to be said? It's a great series. Check it out. It's my rec center.
Yeah, I mean, the game itself won a bunch of awards, and it looks like the show itself is going to win a bunch of awards. The season 1, it sounds like they're going to do a season 2 for the second game. I haven't played the second game. The first game was fucking great. One of the better video games probably ever made. Probably going to be one of the better TV shows made in the last while. But, yeah, it's cool to see them really stick to how the game went. I mean, the third episode, which I think everybody is now claiming to be like, some people are saying it's like one of the best episodes of TV ever made. Are you talking about the
fourth one with Nick Offerman?
I think it's the third one, isn't it? Or is it the fourth one?
That would be the fourth one.
Okay. I think. Either way.
You're right. That is the third
one. It is the third one because the fourth one isn't out yet.
That is considered to be so a good YouTube follow out there that does all types of comic book shit. Marvel, DC, is Emergency Awesome, another rec center. Really does a good job of breaking stuff down. He said that this is probably the best episode of TV that will probably be aired all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably been in a while. It was super good. If you get a chance, start watching it. Get to episode 3. That's where everybody's at right now. Super good. That part's not really a part of the game. It's implied in the game, but it's not like a huge storyline in the game. But that was one of the things. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I'm really glad they stuck to the game," but it was cool that they did that because it was like
it was done really well.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you, Chris, if it came down to the apocalypse,
and
it was just me and you, and we were trying to survive,
we were in a relationship together.
And you were sick.
Because everything was gone.
Would you want me to just give you the pills to kill you off?
I mean, I would want you to do that, but I'd also hope, and spoiler alert here, that you would also take the pills.
I definitely would, dude. I definitely would,
we would go down in bed next to each other, like just locked in like this.
Holding each other. Leave the window open.
Yeah, leave the window open. Let it air out.
That's what's gonna happen.
Spoiler alert!
No, it's not too much.
If you're watching,
you guys check it out.
Know.
The Last of Us is amazing.
It's
so
super
great.
good.
Yeah, because that's what I said after watching. I was like, watching a guy like Ron Swanson, that is notorious for
being the manly man,
being Ron Swanson. Yeah. It is so crazy.
Spoiler: he's in a gay relationship with a man.
Yeah,
yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
It makes sense though.
Love is love, man.
Yeah.
Love is love. Yeah. That's what I gotta say about
it. If it was me and you trapped in, some abandoned house somewhere, we'd probably be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's just inevitable.
Yeah.
If it was just me and you, we don't know if anybody else is alive. You need love.
It was a great fucking episode. I don't even want to keep thinking.
Weird. Let's not get too weird. We're getting weird. It's too weird.
It was a great fucking episode. You gotta watch it.
It was. Which brings me to my rec center, a little bit more lighthearted.
Thank you.
I'm going to recommend Welcome to Wrexham, which is it's on Hulu, and it is the reality TV show about Rob McElhenney and God damn it, I'm forgetting his name right now. Ryan Reynolds, like the most famous person on the planet. I just forgot his name. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia decide to buy the oldest soccer franchise in the world, Wrexham.
Wow.
The Wrexham Dragons. And they buy the team and put a shitload of money into it, and that team ends up turning it around, and they're actually now sitting with a chance to make it into the Premier League.
Wow.
Because we were talking about this before the show. It's weird that the Premier League, like if you suck, they'll just get you out of the league.
Yeah.
Like you lose your chance to compete.
I wish
somebody from a lower league. Yeah, it would be like if
the Texans
had to play Alabama, and the winner of that got to go to the NFL, and the loser got to go to the college football.
I wish. Yeah. That's the way it should be.
That's basically what it is, because that's what they do. And you just get to see like them take this team, and it really is all about the town. It's much like, in Kansas City or in Denver, except it's much smaller. But these people love the team. They bleed, breathe, sleep the team, and that's what the cool shit is. Like seeing the team get better is nice, and you expected that to happen with the amount of money they were able to put into it. But it's just cool seeing like how much it means to the team, and then to the city, to the town of Wrexham, and then to see like Rob and Ryan like realize that and being like, this is what matters.
Yeah.
And that's like what they talk about a lot. Like, yeah, we're doing this because it's something we wanted to do, but like now that we're involved, like we want nothing more than to make Wrexham back to being like the prototypical club that's been there from the beginning. So it's super cool to see. If you are up on sports at all, they were literally on ESPN, I think last weekend. Wrexham was playing.
Y'all have to check it out. What the series that you're talking about, you say it's on Hulu?
Yeah, Welcome to Wrexham.
Okay.
It's on Hulu. The first season's already ended. I think there's 16 episodes. I think we have one more left. Can't remember. We might have finished it. I might have been drinking, so that always... The night you start drinking, things get fuzzy. I don't remember if we finished episodes or finished series. So, but yeah, it's super good. I would recommend watching it. I love sports documentaries. We're gonna have another one we're gonna be talking about with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf coming up soon. Big famous Nuggets player who moved to. I mean, he basically converted to to being Muslim, and
yeah.
He was the first Colin Kaepernick, so that's probably going to be coming up here soon. We haven't watched it yet. I think it's out, or it's going to be out real soon, but I love sports documentaries. I mean, it's why we love Hard Knocks. Like seeing the behind the scenes, like it's all about like the stories and the storylines, and that's why I love sports. I mean, it's just like, look at the Super Bowl. Look how much time we spent just on the storylines of the Super Bowl.
I mean, there's just
that's
so much
where it's all at.
Like a lot of people can talk shit on it, whether they're narrow-minded or not, when it just comes down to, oh, it's just sports, just a ball, you guys are a bunch of meatheads and all this. But for those that don't understand, you take this and you use it as motivation. I know I'm never going to get to the fucking NFL. Are
you sure? At 35, you're not going to do it.
I might.
Soon to be
There's
35.
Tryouts, okay? There's tryouts. But the fact of the matter is,
man,
like,
with Marky Mark.
Yeah.
It can happen.
You never know.
EAGLES, Eagles.
But when it just comes down to like working out in my basement and stuff like that, like I can't stand watching like sports on a Sunday and being that stereotype that's going to be sitting there on a couch.
Armchair quarterbacks.
I got my man cave. I'm going to sit here and eat potato chips and cheese dip all day. That's lazy as fuck. Our shots are already poured.
I already just saw that, so I just am going to put that right back down.
And so when it just comes to like motivating and what these guys go through, the grueling dedication, especially the head coaches. The head coaches spend like 18-hour days in their office, like just to win a game.
It's not even so much that. I mean, most of us grown up competing in one way or another, and like there's those moments where like you get those goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, I get that sometimes too when I think about like, imagine being there in that locker room right now. Like you just won the AFC championship. Like imagine being there and you get those goosebumps. Like just having competed and like being not even in a locker room, just being on a team, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's easy to grasp onto that and just like want to be there, want to be a part of it. And I think that's why we all love sports, is because we've all been there to some degree. We've all competed growing up, but obviously not on a level that a lot of these guys are. But I think that's why a lot of us watch is because like, we can see ourselves there, as crazy as that sounds.
It's that moment. It's that moment of like, desperation. Whatever it's like, are they going to do it or not? Are they going to overcome or not? And I was raised in a very unorthodox type of sport, which is archery, and I'm really appreciative of that because if people haven't ever heard, there's something called target panic when it comes to archery. Some casual people might think like you pull back a bow and you just fling an arrow. Well, that's not it. Well, whenever it comes to like competition, whenever it comes to trying to shoot a 10-point buck, that's like, oh my god, this is a big buck, I could feed my family with this too. There's a lot of panic that comes into it. And I mean
we know words, people. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Lyrical. You'll learn it soon.
This is where the liquor bleeds into the show. There's a literal term that comes into it. This is called like buck panic, and it basically is like you can be a like perfect shot, and
this starts happening.
You start shaking, and all of a sudden,
I've never shook before in my life.
Yep, and that's all it is. To me, that translates to that quarterback making that 3rd and 10 pass. That's that basketball player making that shot at 3-point, whatever it may be. If it's just a hunter in a small town, or it's a guy in the NBA, or somebody hitting a home run on the 9th inning, to me it's that clutch moment. It's fight or flight. That's really what it is. And we are fringe fanatics, and that's what it is. It's on the fringe of being at that moment, whether you're gonna succeed and you're gonna jump for it, or you're just gonna fall down.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And to me, like, that's why I appreciate growing up in archery, because man, it really teaches you, like, there's times where like you're in a shoot off and you're like, okay, everybody's watching you, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And it's the same way with sports, and that's why I love it, So
well, there we are. You know what that brings us to?
The DDOE,
the daily dose of motherfucking excellence. And we will be right back after John Daly hits you with his crooner type singing voice with Hit It Hard right now.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live it large. I hit it hard.
And we are back for the final time of what's looking like what might be our longest episode. But you know what? It's Super Bowl week, so it's fine. It's a super episode of Fringe Fanatics.
We got a UFC pay-per-view too, so it's a super episode for you guys.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff going on. We are going to move into the Daily Dose of Excellence. You just heard John Daly with Hit It Hard. And in this week's Daily Dose of Excellence, it is Black History Month. We did mention that earlier, and we would like to celebrate somebody of color whose name is Candace Parker. She is
one of the goats.
She's literally the goat of women's basketball. But on this special occasion, 2 months into 2023, Candace Parker has managed to shake up the basketball world twice. Chad's going to talk a little bit about her trade right now.
When it comes to her resume, she has maybe the biggest resume when it comes down to women's basketball, rivaling Lisa Leslie or Cheryl
She's like
Swoops.
the MJ.
She really is.
WNBA.
Coming out of Tennessee, she won the Naismith Award. She was a 2-time Wooden Award, which is the award for best basketball player.
Yeah.
In college. She is a 2-time champion in the WNBA. She is the 2-time most valuable player in the NBA, WNBA 2008 and 2013. 3-time WNBA All-Star, 2-time USBWA Player of the Year.
Damn acronyms.
Yeah. Which means she was 2 times best player of the world. That's what that means. 2-time, she was the 2008 WNBA Rookie of the Year, 2008 Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. This woman can ball.
Yeah, she really can ball. And the big thing that's coming up now, which is another first for her, she will be the first woman to be the color analyst for the NBA All-Star Game. She will be doing that and calling. Well, actually, play-by-play will be called by Draymond Green and announcer Brian Anderson. So she'll be doing a lot of the color announcing, which is like the person who fills in a lot of the, storylines, stuff like that, while the other guy calls the main plays that are happening. So this is super cool. I know last month we did have, or the last episode we did have a woman as well, but it just also happened to be International Women in Sports Day and National Women in Sports Day. So
whatever it is,
it makes sense. We're not going to sit here. If you play sports, it doesn't matter.
Whoever deserves it, deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was really cool that, she's going to be the color analyst. And, it should be a lot more than that. When we listen to Altitude, there is a woman that covers...
Katie Wingy.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate
I knew where you were going.
Her name. Yep, she covers it really well. And, Doris for TNT.
Doris Burke.
Dude.
Legend. I'm surprised she hasn't called it yet. I was honestly surprised when I read this that it was Candace Parker being the first, because I just assumed it would be Doris Burke.
Doris is amazing. Hannah even knew. Whenever she hears Doris' voice, she's like, oh, Doris. Because, she's a legend. And that's just it, is like there should be no boundary whether it's gender or not. Like, Candace Parker is a fucking legend.
Well, yeah, she's the best fucking women's basketball player to ever live.
When she played at Tennessee, she dominated. So, Chris, to progress.
To progress, indeed. Yeah, Candace Parker, to her. Here's to you guys. If you are listening and made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, and follow anything we put out. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fringe Fanatics. It helps us a lot. We love and appreciate you guys for making it this far. Here's to you, Chad.
Hey, and we say this a lot. Take a shot with us. Take a video of you taking a shot with us and send it to us.
That's a good point. Get interactive, guys.
We need to see that.
Exactly.
We know you guys drink too.
Here's to you.
Love you, buddy.
Oh,
down the gullet.
That last one was a little rougher than the rest.
Monkey shoulders. Good
On that note, I know we just said I love you, but I love you, man.
I love you, man.
It's been good doing this. It's
been
fun.
a good time.
I'm having a blast.
It's been a good. It's
been
a blast.
Been fun.
Yeah.
It could be worse. Yeah.
No, I think we've done a good job, man. I think Stephen A. I think Adam Schefter. I think all those guys need to watch out for their jobs.
Yeah, they better be looking behind their backs because we're coming. Yeah, I will just say this, man. In the little bit of time we've been doing this, we've come a long ways. So
we really have, dude.
We need to be happy about those little successes, and soon enough, people will be on this shit all over.
It's gonna start rolling.
Stink on shit.
That's right.
On that note, man, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
Like, share, subscribe, and follow. As always, I'm Chris Thane.
And I am Chad Lee.
Chad Lee, the man with the plan. We're out of here. Thank you guys very much.